All right. Whenever I'm ready when you are.
Okay, so we got Jack the Winner, the card we just talked about before. So the Sleep with the Fishes. Let's talk about that first because that's clearly a new card. The 0 mana. Deal 2 to an ally, deal 2 to the enemy Nexus, slow fleeting. How do you feel about this card? Does it add value? Is it just hand fodder?
Dude, any card in hand adds value.
Oh, absolutely.
Just because you can, like, it gives optionality, it can be discarded, it can activate, like, it can combo with Ezreal or even, I don't know, Karma. Obviously, it can activate Riptide Rex. I think in Bilgewater, this card's absolutely insane, honestly. Like, by itself in a vacuum. It enables a lot of combos. And even if it doesn't enable, it's still just a 5 mana 5/6, which uptrades with most other 5 mana units, which, like Hearthguards and so on, which is something that Bilgewater is lacking and is rather rare in the game in general. I think Jack the Winner is a really good card. Sorry?
Like I really like the stat line of it. Like 5/6 is a really kind of premium. It doesn't look like this, but it kind of is. Like 5/6 is really strong, and on top of that, it creates value every turn. Like creating additional cards in hand is really like a really strong strategy, I would say. Like especially for PNZ when you can do stuff with it.
Yeah,
and even on its own, like you can just kill your Kex to play it. I know it's slow, but
yeah, it's also just good in Bilgewater because it activates Plunders.
Yeah, like activating Plunder is for 0 mana, damn.
Dude, I'm honestly, this is the first card that I saw in the set where I'm just looking at it and I'm thinking I would probably give this 5 stars.
Yeah, I would give it 5 stars, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah. You will find out later on that I'm very hesitant and conservative with high star numbers, but I think this card's nuts.
I'm pretty sure it is. Like even with Poro Cannon.
Yeah, true.
Create more stuff. And then like the discard package in PNZ is not really played because there was not much stuff you could do with it.
Mm-hmm.
But now with this and the Poro Cannon, I don't know. It feels really good.
Yeah, and it also doesn't
Poro
really...
Cannon's the one putting this over the top.
Yes, it creates 2 more cards.
Value!
Yeah, I guess this card seems okay. Yeah, I think you got points.
All right, like I give it 5 stars. 5 points out of 5.
All right, I'll get. You guys seem pretty adamant about it. I get voted out by.
No, everyone gets their own opinion. You know what? I'll do a text sheet.
I was gonna give this card like a maybe like a 3.5. I think it has.
We don't do halves.
If we could go halves, I would do 4.5.
Okay, we're not doing halves. Yeah. We gotta cut and dry. Okay.
Or we go 0 out of 10.
We're okay. So now we're making it more complicated.
The more I think, maybe it's not a 5. Like, is it meta defining? But because like
right, 5, that's right.
It's meta defining, but and it's not really meta defining or anything.
No,
it's also not an auto include by any means to Bilgewater.
Yeah. It's like it's more a 4.
No, but yeah,
when I think about it.
But that's why I asked about individual power level. I just think this card is so super versatile and is even just completely standalone a good card. It might not be meta defining. I'm still like by that criteria, I'm gonna give it 5. Okay, so we have Jack the Winner. So Matt gives it a 3. Szychu gives it
this
a
card's
4.
getting a 3 for me. We'll see.
Yeah,
if this card's good. I think it has potential.
All right, Monkey Business. You guys were kind of very critical about this one.
Okay, so it's ultra garbage 1 star. Like it's counter-initiative with what you want to do, because with Powder Monkey you want to attack, so it triggers your plunder, so you can play a plunder card after the attack, and it like makes you play it after you plundered already, which is usually after the attack. And if you do it after attack, you only get the death trigger from the monkey and the monkey next turn. So you would never play a 2 mana deal 1 summon monkey next round, I feel like.
Yeah, I think that's incredibly accurate. If I could give this card 0, that might be a potential.
Okay. I think... Okay, I gotta admit I'm not familiar enough with Gangplank's Sejuani playstyle. I just think if you can have more monkey idols, you would. Run them.
But it's not a monkey idol.
It's a bad monkey idol.
It's like 2/3 of a monkey idol. Assuming you can often proc Plunder, obviously.
No, but it summons it this turn, and like if it said like summon monkey, like powder monkey next turn, and in 2 turns,
Gotcha.
then I would think about it. But
all right, okay, I get where you're coming from. That actually changes my mind quite a lot. Okay, I give it. I still give it a 2, an optimistic 2 out of 5. What do you guys think?
I mean, still on
can
that
we give
one.
0?
Right, that's what I was thinking. If this card can get a 0, this is pretty awful.
Okay.
Like if it's 1, it's 1. If it's 0, it's 0.
No, 0 is fine.
Okay, so
all right,
0.
big old 0 for me.
2 zeros and a super optimistic 2.
Riot Shill, Lobster, Company Man.
All right, what's the next one we have?
For the Fallen, right?
Yes, for the Fallen. 8 mana slow.
I think this card is also terrible.
I do agree. I think the card's not good. The idea is neat. It's basically refill your board after Ruination super easily. But it's also like it doesn't even need the reduced cost thing because you literally only play it after your board gets wiped and like so later on in the game most of the time. On slow speed, and it just summons a bunch of vanilla 3/3s. It's like,
hey, you need to have another card like to make it good. So let's say, like give all the cards Overwhelm or something.
Yeah, Demacia doesn't want to lose its board. The whole point of the deck is to have these big stats that trample over your opponent, and then you just create like an advantage in that way. And you just never want to lose that board. So why are you playing this card?
I do agree. So I would give it a. I'm tempted between 0 and 1. I give it another optimistic 1.
I think it's a little better than a 0 because, like, I guess, like, because that's not realistic. You're gonna lose cards at certain points. Maybe this card is like a 1 of, but still, it doesn't really seem like a good card.
All right, so which rating?
It says a light on it, so it has to be bad.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah, elites. People have been trying to play elites lately, like an elite bannerman deck. That I don't get it. Why wouldn't you just play a more consistent version of that deck?
I don't know. Glob's been a fan of it. So how many stars are you giving it, Matt?
I would give it a 1.
1.
Yeah,
all right.
It's not the worst card ever.
That's fair. Okay, Screeching Dragon is an interesting one. I'm curious about your opinions because, hear me out on this, Remembrance on turn 3, and you got a 4/5 challenger which kind of keeps itself alive.
Yeah, and it grows, dude. It's a freaking dragon, and it grows on turn 3.
True.
I mean, so, I really think it's a great card.
Yeah.
Like, even if you don't play Remembrance, you could just play the Demacia Dragon with the 2-mana grill. You play the...
Oh, yeah. The one that reduces dragon's costs, right?
Yes. The 2-mana 1/1. Okay. You can play on turn 3 the other dragon, the 4-mana dragon 4/4, and then into this. Like, it's a great curve, and it's really hard to deal with those dragons. And they grow, so...
Yeah,
it seems really strong.
I will say we don't know how strong this is yet, because we don't have Shyvana and a lot of dragon synergy cards yet, which will come. But already, like right now, it looks like this card has decent potential.
Yeah, it's a decent like alternative to what's the 5/4 Lancer?
Lancer,
yeah, Swiftwing Lancer.
Yeah, so this card definitely makes you think about if you want to play the 5/4 or the 4/5 because this card can clearly snowball.
True. So at the current point, I'd give it a 4 just because it's not like super duper strong or game breaking. As long as we don't know yet how valuable the dragon tag will be. I think it's sitting pretty at a 4.
Yeah, I would agree it's a 4. Like also, it's really good in the. Obviously, it's a Demacia card, so it fits to the Demacia cards, or the other cards. But it's good with single combat and the 5 mana fight spell, so it grows even more.
Oh yeah, Concerted Strike, that's true.
Yeah, the Concerted Strike.
Dude, this card might be nuts, yeah.
Yeah, but I would still give it a 4.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if it's like, because the Lancer is still value because you get the card in hand, which is one of the most important parts of it. But yeah, I could see this card as a 4.
Yeah, this card solidifies the
Seems
board
really solid.
a bit more. All right.
Right.
Moving on.
Right. Terrible card.
Okay, let's move to the the whole
The next
region
card
of
the
memes
bad
and,
region.
Yeah. Okay. Trundle is up next. Thoughts?
So, seems like a well-statted unit. Not so sure of it as like a build around, or if like any of the other parts of the card matter.
Yeah. Well, it's just solid overall. The question is it worth the champion slot?
Yep.
I could
Exactly.
I could see it be okay in either like a Swain deck, like a slow mid-range deck, either with Swain or with Bilge and Riptide Rex as the finishers. I don't think it's good in War Mothers. I'll definitely try it though.
Is like the general community ever going to give up on War Mother?
I hope not.
The card hasn't been good since like really early beta.
Gotta keep the dream alive though.
People realize like, oh shit, there's a denied in the game. Why am I playing this card? Or even if there wasn't denied, it's like, this is 12 mana.
Because you can ban Ionia in tournaments.
That's cheating.
Alright, I give Trundle 3.
Yeah, I'm on a 3. It's just like a well-statted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could almost see it giving it a 4, but it's probably a bit too much.
Yeah, I was thinking about 3.5, but
Yeah.
I will still do 3.
Yeah, we don't do halves here. All right,
Okay.
Icequake. Card looks horrible, right?
It's a Trundle. Like, we have to remember it's a Trundle champion card. So, like, on its own, you never put this into your deck.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
in the current meta, it could shut down an Ash Sejuani attack. Like, some decks, it does not kill the units, but you still want them to not damage you as much. But still, 8 mana slow? I don't know.
Why does Riot hate good spells? Especially, there's so much bad AoE. Yeah, unfortunately, Icequake I don't think is going to cut it.
but honestly, it might win games when you get a double Trundle. Like, it might just win games on the spot. But it's too situational. You never put this in your deck, but you might be happy that you get a double Trundle draw. So
Right, and I like champion spells like that where it's like a situationally good card you never actually like the box, something like that, very like situational, but when it's good, and you can, if you're playing a Thresh deck, you can make sure or at least increase the chances if you want the box, you can play into that. So I like it in that regard, but I think the spell itself is very underwhelming.
yep.
So, yeah, just because it is a hero card and can then find value, I'm willing to give it a 2, but as a standalone, it would be a 1, let's say.
I think we should rate it as a spell, not a champion card.
Standalone. Okay,
Like,
then I think I give it a 1.
If you wanna make it better because it's a champion spell, we should give more to the Trundle itself, because it should work like that.
That's a good point.
That is true because it would make the Trundle itself more valuable.
Yeah, but I would give it just 1 star if that's me.
Yeah, I would give it. Like maybe there's like a really, like if you generate it, I don't even know how you generate this in most situations, and you can punish your opponent, or
You can have it with a 1-drop with the Demacia one. Yeah, Demacia.
not conspirator. I forget what his name is. Mage Seeker. Something. Yeah, I think this card is very worthy of a 1. Maybe they'll make it a good AoE someday. Just think about it, like 1 more mana, you get access to Ruination.
Well, different region, but still, yeah, I don't think Icequake's that good. All right. So we got all ones, I think, in there. Next up, Uzgar the Ancient.
Yeah, it's a card.
I mean,
I wonder what.
Are they starting to make expedition cards now? Because
yeah. This card's just way too slow to be any good. Like, the earliest you actually hit serious value of the regeneration would be turn 9 or 10. And until then, most games are sort of decided anyway.
Yep.
Yeah, Uzgar...
yeah, there's not a lot to say about this card, right?
Yeah,
It's
seems
just
like a 1 to me.
There's not much to talk about. It's just
Okay.
we're
arena
giving out
card.
zeros, right? I think this card's on the monkey business tier. I don't see why you would ever play this card.
Because you can play War Mother, you can get 7/7 Challenger from it. Play 12 mana spell, then get this, kill enemy karma, and profit.
Oh, well, when you put it like that, it
Genius.
still gets a 0.
Easy.
Yeah, this card is... There's no constructed deck where this card sees play, I don't think.
I will give it a 1, just because I like big creatures.
That's fair. I also have it as a 1. So Matt's giving it a 0 if I heard that correctly.
It's getting a 0. I don't see it any other... This card will just never see play in constructed.
No, probably not. All right. Revitalizing Roar. This is an interesting one because this one's kind of hard to predict.
Yeah, I
because
agree.
it relies on the other cards, so it's really hard to say how good this will be. But
Yeah. Like
So my initial
before
reaction...
10, you would never like to cast it, like never.
Exactly.
You
Right,
never cast
and
it
that's-
before 10, and only in
That's
like
when you would need it, right? That's when you need the healing, is before turn 10.
Probably. Sometimes you can also stabilize on turn 10 and then flip, but you have a good point.
So you could see that as like the backup, like, oh, you made it to turn 10 and this card no longer serves that purpose, so now you get to use it in a different way. But I think if you're using it for that first part, then this card is really weak.
But there is a meta that this card exists and is
Yeah.
playable. Like,
Greedy
if there is a
meta.
burn deck. No, if there is a burn deck and you have a lot of Trundle, like if you play Trundle on 5, they will never hit you again. So you only need healing. And in that case, you can play like Trundle into Roar on 6, let's say. But still, it's like.
Is there just like better healing options? So people shit on... Where's that card? That they don't have the what's that stupid 4-mana card that damages itself and heals? Would that not be like a more consistent option?
Which one again?
The Karma hero card, the Ritual of
We'll
Renewal.
get to it later. Yeah, but Ritual Renewal is awful.
Exactly. I think Revitalizing Roar has like combo potential though.
Right. The way this card is good is because of the Enlightened part.
Yeah. It's hard to predict. I give it like a 2 because I don't know. When you first read it, it looks like on paper it sounds okay. I just can't think of many situations where it would actually be consistent and good.
Yeah, I'm on a 1.
Okay.
I will give it 2 also because it might have a home at some point.
Exactly.
I will give it a 2. It has potential.
All right. Next one's... I'm curious about your guys' opinions first. Augur of the Old Ones. What are we thinking here?
Wanna go first or me?
Yeah, go ahead.
So let's see. It has a lot of stuff written on it because on its own it has Overwhelm regen and it gives Overwhelm regen. So if you play it on curve, let's say Trundle 4, Augur on 6, you have no target for it because Trundle already has the stuff. But maybe if you play it in like Swain deck and you want to give it to Swain, maybe it's slightly better. But
Yeah,
it gives a lot of
like
stuff, so it
champion,
has to be solid, honestly. Like, it could be solid, but it has to be a lot of 8 drops, right? At least like
Yeah.
5, 6, and then Trundle.
It has a lot of conditions. Not only do you have to behold that 8+ card, but also you need a target for this card.
Yeah. And that's the sad part. Like usually when you play a deck like this, you'll be behind on board, kinda. So
Right.
you need to play a good card and then Augur.
Right,
Yeah.
which is why it seems really clunky.
Yeah, it's interesting if there are maybe some stabilizing tools. Like, imagine on Radiant Guardian, it would be also nuts, but I can't really think of a good Freljord Demacia deck.
At that point, wouldn't just Unyielding Spirits be like the better way to do that?
Probably, but Overwhelm though. No, it's. I think the card. If you just look at the card, like 6 mana, 5/5 with 2 tags and 2 additional tags, it has sick value. The question is, like you guys say, is it too situational? Because after turn 6, it obviously loses value relative to the game state.
Yeah, like Regen on turn 6, 7, 8. Is it that good at that time? But I guess we should look at Overwhelm more than Regen.
Yeah, yeah, this is a tough one. I have no idea where this is gonna go. Do you guys want to do points first?
I would give it a solid 3. I don't want to go too much on it, but it could be played. Like it's one of the better one in Freljord that got released. So
agreed.
So I would give it a 3.
Matt?
Yeah, I can't give it better than a 2. I don't know if this card ever sees play. It's not terrible. Clearly, like the stat line isn't awful for like it's understated for a 6-drop, but not terribly. But like I said, the conditions on the card just don't seem to line up.
Yeah.
Well.
I don't know. I could see it get played. Like, I'm somewhere in between 3 and 4 just because the card by itself looks good. I'm not sure if it'll find a home. Right now I'm gonna say a 3. Let's stick with 3. And the next card we have is Troll Ravager.
So it's a wall, basically. It's basically a wall. If there is a lot of Bilgewater decks that go like 1, 2, 3, 4, you might play it. If you are playing a Freljord Behold deck, you might play this card because it just stops everything.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe if you would play the 2 mana ramp, you can play this on turn 3. And then on turn 3 you have 3/5 region. Wow!
If that's ever a thing.
Here's everything. Yeah. And dice to Cunning Strike.
Yeah. So it made me think of I haven't played Hearthstone forever. What's the 3/5 with taunt? Senjin?
Shieldmaster,
kind of made me think of it. Yeah. Made me think of this just like well statted trades on board. The regen is nice. But I just think Behold is not a very good mechanic in terms of something you would want to achieve.
Yeah, Ravager is also just considerably worse in the mid and late game. As soon as regeneration becomes useless. But I do agree with Szychu, like, it can be a great stabilizing tool for control year decks, which they didn't really have before. They didn't have a 4-drop they would like to play. Yeah,
it's a good stabilizing tool for like Demacia, Bilgewater type of unit heavy decks.
I'm willing to give it a 3 as well. Just be consistent with the whole troll kind of package being kind of mediocre.
I think it's a little better than Augur, so I'll go with a 3.
Honestly, this card is a meta call most of the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just a meta call if you play it or not. So yeah, it's a solid 3 also.
Yeah, in certain metas it could see a lot of play, I do agree. But just by itself, probably not quite all that good. Call the Wild. Sorry, you go.
I was trying to think of like the most meta impacting regeneration card we've seen. So we have Garen. Are there any others really?
She Who Wanders.
Okay. Well, even when that card was played, and I mean like played in a very loose sense of like some people played one copy of it. That card didn't actually have regeneration. However, that card's awful. But anyway, is there any actual regeneration besides Garen? Because regeneration in theory is like pretty valuable. We've just never really seen the potential of it.
Well, flipped Vladimir, but it's Vladimir.
Okay. Yeah. So.
Wait, the region on Vlad was legit. I don't know. I might be the only one that actually played the Vlad decks.
The only one that saw the potential.
The region on Vlad was fine. Even after like 10, 6, 7, something. Okay, but don't go over
Unfortunately,
it.
Vlad was the first champion I got outside of like the predetermined ones.
Oh yeah, Braum is actually, chat's just telling me.
Okay, Braum. Okay, yeah. Okay, Braum. So we've seen regeneration used on champions, at least.
Yeah. Alright, let's go next. Call the Wild.
Go next.
Go next. Okay. You know what? I'd actually give it a 1 just for Poro decks. Just for Poro decks.
But it is bad in Poro decks.
No, it's draw each Yeti, Poro, and Elnak. So maybe you pay 3 mana for draw 3 or 4 cards. Imagine.
Yeah, I imagined it. Now what? I don't. Yeah.
Then you have 3 or 4 Poros in hand. I just give it a.
I misread it. Oh wait, I misread it. Okay, I see now how it works.
Like,
okay.
I still think it's a bad card, but I cannot give a Poro card a 0.
Well, I can. So 0. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like there's something I'm missing maybe with like a deck that exists.
I'll give it a 1. Dude, like Luke's Braum was really good. Obviously, Braum was fucking.
Because drawing a lot of cards, drawing 4 or drawing multiple of anything potentially is like okay at least.
Like, if you draw 2 with it, it's already good, right?
Yeah, it's 3 mana, draw 2 cards. It's better than salvage, for sure.
But are those your odds at all times? So I feel like it's going to be a lot lower, right?
Yeah,
okay, I would give it 1. Obviously,
just because it's fun. All right, Troll Scavenger.
Unplayable.
Yeah. I don't really see it. I give it a 1.
1. And there is not even a meta, which maybe
right. Like, what deck would really play this? Even like the whole deck, you just want to play more valuable cards or ramp cards.
Yeah.
Like, is there like a mid-range with top-end deck that you would have like sort of god cheater curve where you go Omen Hawk, Troll Scavenger, Omen Hawk, Troll Scavenger, and just crush your opponent? Maybe. Not really, though.
That sounds odd, though. Like, you don't really want Behold cards in there. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I think this card's pretty bad. I would give it. Yeah, I'm giving it a 0. I don't think that this card is playable.
That's okay. Troll Chad. Interesting one. What do you think?
It's the best card of the Freljord. Yeah,
that says a lot.
So good. Like, the only bad thing about this card that we have already Fury of the North in this region, but other than that, this card is so good.
I
Like,
do
it
agree.
will blow out people so much. Oh god, like you can do this on 2 different like followers of champions.
It's kind of like a double elixir of iron in 1 card.
Yeah, for 2 mana, only 2 mana, like double elixir. Yeah, exactly. This is like double elixir.
Yeah.
In one.
So speaking of elixir, how would you? Let's say you're building like a mid-range Frey deck. Let's say you're even building Ash Sejuani. Would you take out that? Would you take out elixir for this card?
Obviously.
I think most of the time, yes. I could also see myself run like 2 Troll Chants, 1 Elixir. Reason being, you can't use this if opponent does not have anything on board. So you can't protect your Glory Seekers with it.
Right, because the condition.
Yeah, it's 2 given enemy, -2.
Okay.
I think elixir is better than this card still, but I see how this card in certain metas, like you've said before, if it's a lot of trading, for instance, if there's a lot of trading, this card would be better.
Imagine everyone plays Demacia Lulu or something like that. This card's nuts. So
yeah, I think this card has potential. It's just hard because it already has a very similar card, and 1 mana is a lot easier to work with, obviously, because it's cheaper, but
yeah.
This card's definitely, like you said, the best of all these cards, for sure.
I'm somewhere between 4 and 5 on this one.
I would give it 5 for sure.
Okay.
It's the best card in Freljord right now. Okay, maybe I'm over it.
Yeah,
You
it's the
think
best of
even
the new
outside
ones
the
for sure.
previous?
Yeah.
I'd give
Yeah,
it.
I could give it a 4.
Yeah, I give it a cautious 4. Like I would also somewhere between 4 and 5. Just because you cannot protect your units if your opponent doesn't have anything on board. So if you're playing against a Karina type of deck, then the card's dead. And that's why I'll give it a 4. It's a bit meta dependent, a tiny bit.
Yeah, I'm a little cautious because people just might outclass what's it called? Elixir of Iron just might outclass this card if we see that. But it seems like it could be good.
Yeah.
No, there is no way Elixir of Iron is ever better than this. No, I won't ever agree.
I think sometimes you want to play both, but generally Troll Chant's a better card.
No, you either play 3 of this and 0 elixirs, or 3 of this and elixirs, but I'm pretty sure you never want to play both.
Really? If you were building a deck, you would always pick Troll Chant and not Elixir of Iron.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. No, maybe that's right.
I'm also a Starlit Seer guy, so... like, this with Starlit Seer?
True.
Starlit Seer is awful. Can we get that out of our systems? When
we are not saying about
playing...
Starlit. Okay, let's go for that. Let's go for the next
Will people stop playing PNZ Frey?
Faces of the old ones.
So obviously everybody wants to play this card with the ramp deck. You only get that mana gem for the round and you have to Behold, and then nothing bad happens to this card. I'm really not a fan of it.
I mean, Beholding isn't hard.
I could just challenge this with the fleet feather tracker and kill it.
Yeah.
But then you get Troll Chanted.
Oh, sorry. You have bested me.
But okay,
that's the worst part.
Like having a 2 mana and 3 mana ramp is so different.
Mm-hmm.
And
absolutely.
The thing about this card is also you don't have to have an 8 mana card in hand. You can draw it like later. Like let's say you don't have it and you just top deck it.
That's how good players do it.
Yeah, but good players don't draw bad cards.
It
just gives you more options. It's not that you have to have it.
I mean, it's a really good point that like you can go faces into Troll Ravager, for example. Another thing to consider though is that a lot of these lists probably want to play something like Avalanche, and it just dies to your own Avalanche.
Honestly, I don't know if Avalanche is.
Yeah,
I think Avalanche is strong right now.
Overall, like even if you don't capitalize
on it.
Well, yeah, maybe by now these decks will have enough units that you don't want to run over Avalanche anymore.
That's true.
So I'm somewhere between 1 and 2 on Faces of the Old Ones.
I think a lot of people are high on this card, right? I feel like a lot of people want to play this card in like this War Mother ramp deck.
Yeah. I love the War Mother's concept, so I'm gonna give it a risky 2.
I think that's gonna bite you.
I would say one more thing. Like, the bad thing about this card, there's not that many 4-drops that you really want to play like ahead of a curve. There's not that much like I don't know, like reward for playing it faster.
Right. So think about like the ideal curve for this deck. I don't really know what Faces of the Old Ones does.
But I will still give it 2 stars.
This is again the Uno, the 1.
That's fine.
I hate War Mother, so I hope this card's bad.
Right. Chat keeps telling me that the patch notes came out, and apparently there were some buffs and nerfs in this.
Yeah, there was.
Really? After explicitly telling everybody that wasn't going to happen. Shame on you, bro.
Did anyone already take a look at it?
No.
No, I have no idea.
Fury.
Should we take a look, or do we not care?
I don't know. It's up to you, honestly.
We could look at the end, I guess.
All right, that's fair.
But honestly, we should look at it now so we don't like.
Is that a breaking news type of thing? Yeah. Okay. This is
I
like.
think we should look at it. It cannot be that long. Do you have a link for it?
Yeah, let's. I scouted
just
really
on the
quick.
front page, right?
Yeah.
Because it may affect the cards that we like will.
That is true. That's a good point,
Whatever.
because we'll just look stupid if it changes. And we can't have that.
1.8. Send you guys the link.
Is
No, I
it
have
news?
it.
Okay, yeah, it's on the front page. Okay. So now February will be the new set reveal with the new region. Okay.
So we are looking only at the cards, right? The
Yes.
changed cards. What is it? Card updates.
Yes.
Fury of the North.
Okay.
4/4 to a 3/4.
Still a good card.
I think, honestly, like the biggest thing about it was
The health.
health.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Like sometimes we were pushing damage with it, but like the free, like 4 attack was usually more than you needed anyway.
That's
feels like
Oh,
it's a-
wow.
It's a fine thing. So yeah.
Oh, we're going to get
yeah.
to this
Fury
after.
is still good. It's still a riposte and sometimes better than a riposte.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's,
I
still,
think
like,
this,
it's almost the same as it was, honestly.
yeah, it objectively makes it a little worse, but I think this card is still fine.
Okay. Assessor gets... I feel like it gets... What? I feel like it gets nerfed in the wrong place. Assessor gets obliterated from anything that is not Ash Noxus, and in Ash Noxus it's still insane.
Yeah, in the deck that it was already best in, it's still just really good. You can't
What
go
if they
like...
made it? If they made it a 3/4, would it be still too good? Instead of making it 5 mana.
I hate Trifarian Assessor. I wanted them to make it a 6+ power ally. Just make it awful.
No.
Yeah, it shut down certain plays where you would go like Ash in Trifarian Assessor on 8, or like just a combination of Trifarian Assessor and another card to maximize the draws. But yeah, in Ash Sejuani, I still think it would be the same quantity.
Yeah, but I guess it's better that they touch it up in some way than not at all.
Right, just make it worse.
I mean, it's fine. Like I don't think Asha was really a good deck anyway, so I don't care. Like, it wasn't
Yeah,
oppressive.
I also
I'm okay. I didn't want to say good deck. It's not oppressive.
True.
Is it stopping anything for being good? That's a good point. Yeah, that's true. It just does its thing, and if it works, it works, and if it doesn't, then oh well. It doesn't actually like gatekeep a deck from existing.
All right.
I don't know.
Some Dredger, next card.
To play me, discard one. Wait, what?
So you can now play it if you don't have cards in hand. A very, very
I think
minor
that makes
buff.
these cards a lot better.
I mean, it's really narrow. I don't know. It's fine, but
Yeah, I think it's...
Obviously, it doesn't come up all the time.
Yeah.
Also, I don't like that they call it a quality of life tweak. That is not what this is. This is just making the card better.
True. I think the card has been a bit underrated and underused before because the stat line's okay, but it's not like crazy good. It's a solid card.
Oh, absolutely. But I do think it makes it better, especially in those Jinx decks where it's like, oh, I have a Zonite Urchin in my hand, I have a Sump Dredger in my hand, I can't even play it.
Oh yeah, Urchin gets the same treatment.
yeah, it's the same.
Urchin is
Yeah, it's
actually
fine.
really good, yeah.
So that's all. Okay, so basically
Yeah.
Assessor and Fury, which doesn't really matter. Okay, so
It's okay.
it's
Yeah, I don't think that's going to change how we evaluate the cards. And
Yeah, I'm sad that Endorse and...
yeah, how did Endor make it through again?
Yeah, and also Ezreal is just a ninja through all of these patches. It's crazy.
Well, we know that somebody high up in Riot just, has a thing for PNZ Ionia, in particular Ezreal, so it's not even they just had to throw Heimerdinger under the bus, the bad scapegoat.
Yeah, Hyperdinger was OP.
You're gonna tell how many different Ezreal variants are we ever gonna see? Every single combination with every region right now has had a very good Ezreal deck. There was
are we
only
gonna
one
speak
Heimerdinger deck.
about Ezreal. Or,
Yeah, let's not talk about
Okay,
someone
that's
who...
true.
Yeah.
Let's get back on track.
Okay, we're starting with Ionia. First up, Lulu.
Yep.
Does anybody feel very particular about? I know a lot of people are excited about this card. I think it just highlights the flaw of support is that this card has to attack, and if this card attacks, it's gonna die.
I think you have plenty of ways right now to not make it die necessarily. I think Lulu is very good, but not broken. I'm really curious, like, I think she only works well in 1 or 2 decks, which is with Demacia and Fleet Feather Tracker and Valor and those kind of cards. And the other one is maybe in a Targon synergistic support deck. She's very easy to level and levels in deck. And when she's leveled, she's still a value generation machine. I actually will say Lulu is really good, and she even has the potential to be broken if that, for example, the Demacia deck just turns out to be OP.
But it's the same as a Warchief, right? Because it's a 2/3, it has a support, but it's 1 mana more. Out of the time you play Warchief, he just dies.
Yeah,
so
but not
you really
always.
Need to play stuff to protect her. Maybe like even the quick attack thingy.
Yeah, Rush.
Ionia.
You can play Rush.
Yeah.
You can play Fey
So
Guide.
maybe.
That's my favorite.
That's where we're going now. We're gonna play Rush to make Lulu viable.
Dude,
I know,
right?
Rush
Imagine
is pretty good overall.
Rush with Valor in a
Rush isn't
Lulu deck is
bad
nuts.
card. I think this card is like okay, but like I said, I think support is just flawed in general because of that. This card has to attack, and if it attacks, it dies, or it is likely to die.
Like support overall is not that good of a main mechanic for a deck, like main thing.
Right, it's inherently flawed, and that's why we've seen a lot of support cards not be good outside of War Chefs, because War Chefs is just like a well-statted card with a decent effect.
Actually,
so number-wise? Oh, go ahead.
I will say she might be the best champion, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's sad, isn't it?
Yeah.
What do you mean best champion?
Of this expansion.
Oh.
That was revealed so far.
Okay,
like
the bar is really low though.
Yeah, I agree.
That's on, yeah.
I for sure give it a 4. I'm on the verge to give it a 5, but I think like as a standalone card, it needs so much build around that it maybe makes the deck worse to be good. So I'll stick it at a 4 right now.
Oh,
right, because ideally you would want. Yeah, I can't do that either.
I will give it optimistic 3. Optimistic 3, but it's really optimistic.
I am there just because everybody seems to love this card. Everybody's really excited. Even like players who I respect think this card's really good. I'm not seeing it, but okay, it's a 3.
Fair. I can understand. Okay, Singular Will. Fresh release. What are we thinking here?
I don't think you ever main deck this card. Like you will be fine when you sometimes generate it, but
you'll be really happy sometimes in a spooky karma mirror, I guess, when you just like put your opponent's board in their hand and it destroys all their cards.
Yeah. But I think you'll ever only want to play this either memeing with Yasuo or like in a heavy karma control deck that otherwise lacks AoE. AoE clear.
Yeah, like karma with not SI, basically.
Exactly. Well, PNZ would also not want to play it. But like karma...
Right. Like that really slow attrition value control deck without Shadow Isles, though. I don't know what that is.
Yeah. Who knows? But we're just looking at cards individually. So I could see it sometimes be run as a one-off, especially in a side deck it would be Gangster, but I don't know.
Is LOR going to get a side deck? Maybe.
Maybe sometimes. I'm somewhere between 1 and 2. I'm rather leaning towards 1 right now because I don't really see any synergies.
I will give it a 1.
I think this card's unplayable and give it a 0.
That's fair.
It's like I was thinking about the Ice Quake the same way, kind of. Like when it comes to rating, like they don't do the same stuff, but when it comes to rating,
that's reasonable.
Expensive, slow spells historically have been unplayable outside of 2, and one of them had to get buffed. So there's Ruination and Harrowing.
Okay, let's go to the next. Swole Squirrel.
Yeah, everyone's favorite.
Oh, this is crowd favorite for sure.
Yeah.
This is crowd favorite.
Yeah, I
well,
don't
I
think the
it's
card's good.
This card is unplayable,
How
right?
can you say that? You have to say this card is great. It's a lot of potential and it looks great. Okay?
I will say that about the flying Poro, but Swole Squirrel is like
you can only get like your one pick, like, okay, I like this artwork, this card is not that bad. You can't put that on you can't tag that all the time. This card is awful.
yeah, like the card looks awesome, but it is not good.
Is there like really any, like, you support this card, I guess? And it's like, you either block and it doubles the power.
You use Kato and Shunpo.
Oh, okay. Well, that changes everything.
Yep.
Fake
I'll
guide
give
onto
it one star. There's not much to talk about
Yeah.
it, honestly. Like, there is some
Right.
potential with it, but yeah.
So Matt?
0.
0, okay.
There's no
Okay.
potential here.
Fuzzy Caretaker is a card I can't really wrap my head around.
Yeah, this one is hard, honestly. But I lean more to unplayable than anything.
Definitely on the unplayable side.
It's it has to be in super heavy support deck, obviously.
Yeah,
And super heavy support decks will be really bad, so yeah.
probably. I mean, it looks like it could be a 4-mana 6/6, but will it be? It's like...
About like the curves for those decks though aren't both Tarek and Shen are both 4 mana, so you would ideally want to play one of those instead. So what's like the ideal curve to make this card even like you can even think of like how this card would be anywhere close to playable? What is that curve? I don't know.
Pixie, War Chiefs, Lulu, Fuzzy Caretaker.
Yeah, then it will actually be good. Not gonna lie.
And this is the case that
would
be okay.
Tarek or Shen be better in that curve?
How do you play Tarek in a deck that runs War Chiefs?
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, maybe Shen? I'm not sure. I mean, this is a good aggressive option just because it's well statted.
Like, honestly, this might be played in a full support deck, but not as a free off. Maybe like 1 or 2 off. Just to high roll it with the... I don't know if you played with Targon, do you play with the 5-drop that has even more support cards? I don't know. I hate the support.
Yeah, I still give it a 2 just because it could be a solid statted card in a support deck.
Okay.
I just don't think support decks are going to be that strong.
Yeah, I would give it a 1.
Okay.
Yeah, 1. It's better than Soul Squirrel, I'll say that much, so it gets a 1.
Okay. Fey Guide is actually a card I'm looking forward to, which I don't think is that good, but I can't wait to try it out. I'm honest.
So it strikes me as a card that like would see, like, if you think of just like traditional mid-range decks, this card would be really interesting to put on like a card that's not supposed to have it, just to get a lot of value out of it.
Yeah, even on Lulu, can be freaking insane.
I feel like this card is good. I don't know.
Like the card can be good.
Yeah, it can be good, okay. It's not universally good, but like in certain decks, it may...
Dude, I can't wait to put...
stupid stuff.
Yeah, I can't wait to put this, like to have the option on putting this either on Lulu or on a Moose or a Genevieve or something.
Or like even Vi.
Even Vi, that's true. But PNZ already has access to Sumpworks maps, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but then you have to play Sumpworks map.
True. Like, I give Fey Guide a solid 3. I think it has potential. It's never going to be busted, but it's for sure interesting.
Yeah, I will give it 3 also.
This is a card, and we've seen cards like this before that are like fringe good and get buffed and become really good. Mm-hmm. I would never want to see this card change to like a 3-mana 3/3 because then it would be really strong.
Yeah, then it would be busted. The most intuitive change would be 4 mana 3/4, I guess, which would still make it really good. 4/3 would make it really good. Yeah, I give it a 3. What do you think, Matt?
3. Yeah, I think this card's solid.
Okay. And we go down a row, and we have the most polarizing card I feel like in this expansion, Whimsy.
So they just give it up. They're going full. Let's copy what Hearthstone does.
With polymorph, maybe.
That's what stuck out to me, just because of the stat and the cost. So, do you guys? Is this card good?
I wanna hear what you're gonna say first.
I would like to do the same. This is like the
so
only time
I can say already. It's like fine card, nowhere near great. It will see play, but honestly, when I think of any Ionia deck, there is no place for it almost. Like it's mostly meta call to play this, I feel like it's mostly a meta call. If there is something that you really need to kill in a combat that is really buffed or like annoying as elusive, but I don't know.
Agree.
I don't like it.
I think it's really good as Lulu's champion spell in a Demacia deck, but I don't see it be. It's weird to main deck it.
Yep.
I would, if I could, I would give this a question mark, but like this, I would probably give it a 3 right now, just because I have no idea where to go.
Yeah, and people were really high on this card when they saw it.
Really? People are hype on this card?
I'm somewhere between 2 and 3.
I would give it a 2.
Even as a Lulu champ spell, does Lulu really want access to this card that often?
Well, if Lulu plays challengers, for sure. Also, it's just this card's only gonna be good against decks that have a lot of followers, like kind of like Troll Chant, similar decks. Similar metas is what I'm trying to say. So stuff that trades a lot, and then Whimsy is insane. Like your opponent plays Riposte on a Radiant Guardian, and you Whimsy it, and it's already committed to combat. So it has a high value ceiling. It's just ultra situational.
Yeah, I think I can give it an optimistic 2.
Okay.
Yeah, I will give it 2.
Okay, I think I stick with 3 on this one, but I totally understand all your guys' reasonings. Tasty Feyfolk.
What is this for starters? I don't understand what type of creature in Runeterra is this.
I don't know, but I think it looks amazing. Like the card art is sweet. Okay.
It's pretty cut and dry. Like it's okay.
Yeah, I will say it's actually good in control decks. It's often a better Deadbloom Wanderer. Like Spooky Karma would probably want to see something like this.
Yep.
It's more consistent than Emerald Awakener.
Okay. Yeah. I could see your point with there.
Yeah, and the stat line's okay. Like this control is Ionia is getting a lot more like spread out control tools, I guess.
So you only played in control. Do you ever play it in like mid range? You don't, right?
No,
only if there's
stat line isn't good enough.
Yeah, only if there is a lot of burn type of decks in the meta. Then it's a sick tech choice.
But it's also like a meta call card, right? Like even in a control deck, you either play like a 1 or 2 of, and if the meta is really, really aggressive, then you might play a 3 of. So
yeah,
because you could even think about like, it's okay in like a control deck, like a Spooky Karma, but it still just gets challenged by like a Fleet Feather. It trades with a 1-drop.
No, but you only block with it. Like, it dies to Fleet Water, but do you play it in like Karma S ever?
I don't think so.
I doubt it. Yeah.
So
you mean like instead of Eye of the Dragon or something?
Like, I don't know. I'm just asking you if you.
Yeah, I don't really see it.
What happened with Eye of the Dragon? People loved that card so much earlier in the expansion, and then it seemed like people just stopped liking it altogether. And then recently we saw all the tournament Karma Ezreal decks play it again.
I can't even tell you. The card's very, like, it's splitting opinions.
I like it. I've always been a fan of Eye of the
But
Dragon.
it's also meta dependent.
Like I don't want to give this card a 2-star, but I don't see what do I play it. Like in Spooky Karma, people say, but
Yeah, I give it a 2 just because it's by itself. In it by itself, it's not bad. It's better than
Yeah,
other stuff
Karma's
that already
is-
stuff.
The issue I would see in a Spooky Karma deck is it doesn't have the upside of the other one, the Enlightened one. Yeah,
That's
I
like-
think this card's like a 2. It's not bad. But its use is very limited, I would say.
Yeah, so Szychu, are you rather at a 1 or 2?
2 stars.
Okay.
Let's just give it 2, just for the art.
Good point.
Did he take a bite out of his own arm? What's happening in it?
Someone bit him because he's too tasteful.
Oh, okay. So is he like some sort of?
I mean, he's tasty, isn't he?
Is he tasty? Okay.
He literally
Okay,
looks like
now-
a cookie monster, sort of thing.
I was thinking more of like a plum.
Sure.
We have to argue about these things. They matter.
What if he bit himself?
Is that
When I
like-
first saw him, this is what I thought. Like, ooh.
Oh,
like,
he bit himself to lifesteal? Is this what happens?
Oh, that's brilliant.
Okay, let's go to the next. We are
Yeah,
too
we're getting
deep into
the
this.
tasty folk.
The little
rabbit
young
hole.
witch. Yeah, whew. I mean, 2 mana for a 1/1 that's so easy to remove is always not good. Now the question is, I see the Lulu synergy and it's crazy. I also see the Challenger synergy. Like with Fleet Feather Tracker or Valor.
Yeah, I don't think this card is bad.
It
Yeah,
really fits the support because like itself it has elusive, so it's not in the combat most of the time and buffs the value targets for you.
yeah.
I think it's really so like the support decks are bad, but this is the card that can make them good.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. It gets rid of the part where support cards would be bad, is that it gets to avoid combat most of the time.
True. My problem with
I
this
also think
is like Vilefeast, Make It Raid, Static Shock, Withering Whale. A lot of stuff just
absolutely.
cleans this up, but if you run Ranger's Resolves in that deck, it's a lot better again.
Yeah, I can agree on that.
Yeah, I think this card's okay.
I'm somewhere on like 3 or 4. I give it a 3.
I will
That's
give it a 3 for sure.
Yeah, I think this card has potential as a 3.
I'm just saying it's not a trash card.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh no, any card with elusive has some value, right? Just
Yeah.
because of how good the mechanic is.
I could even see people giving it a 4. I think it's reasonable. I mean, cards like Greenglade Duo also are just sick, even though they only have 1 HP.
Yeah, but Green Glade Duo is like, this card can win me the game by itself.
True.
I don't think Young Witch is on that level, but I'd see this card's like okay. So I think it's a 3. It has potential.
Yeah. Pix is another one that, when I first saw it, I thought this is complete garbage. And on second thought, I think it might
Still
not be
it is.
horrible. Yeah, okay.
So how do you play it?
You're gonna have to sell me on this real hard, Lobster. Go ahead. How do you make this card not awful?
Fey Guide put elusive on it. No, I'm kidding.
Okay, this
No.
is a 0.
But like some sort of curving with Pix and like Fleet Feather Tracker or Valor. Like everything of this kind of needs cheap challengers for sure. But there are ways where you can then protect Pix. And I mean, yeah, okay, it's still just a 1 mana 2/2 even if it supports something, right? Just a tool to level Lulu. I don't know.
If support is really important, like how we saw deep in set 2, if support is really important to meeting level up requirements, then I guess, but I just really don't see it
Yeah,
at all.
but I mean, we're still on standalone cards. I won't give it a 0, but I think it's fine at a 1.
It's a 1. Yeah. There's not
Zero.
nothing
I don't see how
about
this card is playable.
Mm-hmm. Fair. Flower
You
Child?
just don't block the supported ally and kill this thing. Flower Child, the card that everybody wanted to be a champion.
What?
You missed it when you went offline. People are going wild over this card.
What is it about Flower Child that actually fascinates
And
people?
it has a cool card, I guess.
I don't know. It's a rapid. It's
I mean, it's kind of cute, but a lot of stuff in Runeterra is cute.
well, it's a bad card, so
I'm just is Flower Child actually good in the Lulu deck even?
No.
it doesn't line up with the curve at all.
It's like Flower Child into War Chefs is neat.
Like maybe if it said when someone is supported, grant me +2/+0, maybe it would be slightly better, but I don't know.
Yeah, but even then,
We have the other one mana Ionia which benefits from barriers, and it's
right, but that is so much more conducive. It's like, oh, you have the barrier and it attacks, and you get like a really high attack, so they want to block, and you know.
Do you ever want, like, which other 1-drop beside Tracker would you run in the Lulu deck? I mean, we just said Pix is garbage, so...
Yes.
you don't.
You don't.
I don't know.
I'd rather just play like a little Cithria at worst because it's a 2/2 and that's just good.
Okay, that's fair. I will give Flower Child a 2. I'm not even sure about a 2 actually. Yeah, it doesn't look that good.
Trying to figure out how to make it good, but
yeah, isn't it just worse than Butcher or even like the Daybreak 1-drop?
yeah.
This card is really bad.
Yeah, I'll give it a 1. I don't know.
Yeah. 1, 2. I'll give it an optimistic 2. I can see Lulu decks be good, and then it might be played. Who knows?
Yeah,
I'll
that's
give it an
fair.
optimistic 1 just because I don't want to waste all my zeros. I can't give everything a 0.
Okay. I think we're done with Ionia. Noxus.
Yeah, Ionia is done.
Basilisk
Oh, God.
Bloodseeker. Deal 1 to an
Bloodseeker-
ally and an enemy 4 times.
So you need a tough unit to make it good, or something that wants to be like tagged. I don't know. Like, do you have like a way to make it good? Like, I don't see it.
It
Nope.
flips
Maybe I'm
Vladimir
missing it.
very fast.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
well, when you put it like, sorry, I didn't
On turn 7 though.
recognize.
Wait, can you put it on the enemy Nexus?
No.
No.
No, an enemy doesn't qualify as the Nexus anymore, right?
No.
And you can't put it on your own face.
Yeah, it's literally just like Crimson Disciple that had a take hard. Then I could see this be fun.
Yeah.
But even then it's just 4 damage to opponent's Nexus.
Yeah, I think this card's atrocious. The best part about it, it's like it has Overwhelm, I guess.
Yeah, I don't see a purpose for this card to exist. I don't know what you would want. Like, it just kills your Scarthane Steven immediately. I guess maybe Scarmother Vrina?
Yeah, someone had that. Like
Oh,
7. It deals like it has a lot of damage. How much does she get? Like +3?
Yeah, it's
Yeah, she
12
gets
additional
+3
attack on
each
Vrina, and then she just tanks a flock and dies.
Yeah, that definitely broke that card. Now that's
it's like-
exactly what Scarmother, whatever her fucking name, needed.
By Vrina on 6 and this on 7 is 20 damage, right? Yeah, it's 20 damage.
Okay,
No,
there you go.
Yeah, it's 22
OTK.
even.
22.
You know what? I give it a 1 just because of Vrina.
Yeah, let's give it a 1.
It has Overwhelm, so I guess I'll give it a 1.
Yeah.
Overwhelm's a really strong
Dude,
mechanic.
like, not gonna lie, Scarmother Vrina into this card is actually fucking good, but that's the only, like, usage I see of this card. The very only.
Yeah, exactly.
And a card that's going to have no usage, Apprehend.
Yeah, Apprehend looks trolly. I mean,
Wait, do you think it's trolly?
I don't know,
I think it's an interesting card.
isn't that just worse than Shampoo?
I mean, obviously you have to play it in Darius deck, which is like Pepega. But I don't
It's
know,
so
like saying
awkward.
rally, like 2-mana rally with a stun. Like imagine playing Darius and then playing this on enemy turn to stun like any big thing they play, and you basically kill them. Like obviously it's a miracle day,
Yeah.
but it has potential.
If it gets played against you, you're gonna be really mad, but
I mean,
And the floor, like how bad is the floor for this card? Like 2-mana stun, like on that
very
floor,
bad.
it's pretty bad, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Is it
That would
like
be
ultra bad?
But I will say,
Yeah.
in a Darius deck, the stun kind of makes sense, right? Because you can just stun the highest. But yeah, Darius decks are gonna have a lot of overwhelms, and you can just stun the highest HP blocker. That I do agree with. It's just
It's so awkward. Why wasn't this a champion spell?
because then it would be OP.
It would be so good as a champion.
Dude, it would be busted beyond measures.
Well, they would have to make it probably 3 mana.
Dude, more for sure. It's just a better rally if it's a champion spell.
My point is that like we have Riptide, and Riptide is the Nautilus spell, which makes it reasonable because the condition is on the card itself.
Does Riptide make you ready though?
No, which is a good point, but the idea that you have to play both, as us cultured folk would say, Darius, and also this card, it just makes it very awkward.
Yeah, it's just like it's just such a dead card in hand if you don't have Darius, and you don't really want dead cards in a deck that don't run card draw.
But then,
Right, like-
but then you will get blown up by someone playing Noxus deck with Darius.
Absolutely,
And they
absolutely.
will play Apprehend on your, I don't know, the Radiant Grill, and they will kill it with Rally, and you'll be really sad, and you'll think, yeah, this card is so bad, why is he playing it?
Dude.
I imagine myself.
Oh, I know what's going to happen already. I'm going to be really mad when it happens
Yeah,
too. But
I know this card is gonna make me tilt, but I just don't think it's good.
Yeah, that's the sad part.
So,
Really good
you're
blown
going
up.
to have no cards in hand. They're going to go Darius, Apprehend, and you're going to be very upset. And I know I shouldn't be, but it might happen once in a while.
I'm somewhere between 0 and 1.
I'm definitely at zero.
Probably on 0.
No, I will give it a 1 for sure. I will give it a 1.
I mean, 1 for the tilting potential, maybe.
Okay, that's a great point. 1.
Hey, imagine playing this in tournament and playing a 1 of
One
in
has to
tournament,
respect it.
and they have to respect it. Like, imagine the possibility.
Yeah, the card's actually a bitch to play around. That's true.
Yep.
I'm fine with a 1. I think we talked ourselves into a 1.
Okay.
So it makes me think of what's the 1 mana version of the Sun?
The Daybreak card.
No. The I want to say classic. What's the first set of the game called? Like Foundation.
Yeah.
What's the 1 mana?
Guile.
Sun
Guile.
card? Right. I remember somebody playing it in a tournament deck who won, and I thought it was really dumb. And then I realized that people are going to have to respect that 1 of, and it's going to be annoying. So maybe it wasn't that dumb. So Apprehend maybe is something in that same vein, except a lot more situational.
Just a 1 mana card is like you always have 1 spell mana in a deck that's not completely full send aggro. It's like in so many situations you need to just keep it in mind. Alright.
Right. So Apprehend is much worse.
Okay, go for PNZ now.
Yeah, Tri-Beam Improbulator.
Trash.
Yeah, they hate PNZ.
Like this is legit trash. If it said you play a 3+ cost card, you know, like you could play a free cost card, 4 cost card, it would be fine. But
Yeah, that would actually be good.
Yeah.
but Red Knight is just trash.
I'd give it an optimistic 1 because maybe in the future you can build a good deck with a lot of 3 cost cards.
Yeah, maybe.
But I could like right now 0 is completely fine.
Yeah, I would give it a 0.
0. Terrible card. Get out of here.
Poro Cannon.
5 out of 5.
Yeah, I give it a 5. No debate about it.
Unfortunately, this card isn't that bad.
It opens up a lot of potential, honestly.
Yeah, anything with that's cheap and elusive has potential, which is unfortunate part, but
It's also flexible. Like you use 2 cards for 0 mana to create 2 cards in hand, which is like never bad. And you can discard a card you really want to discard in any way. So
I could see a PNZ Poro deck be not completely atrocious.
no, it would be really bad.
it would be really bad.
Poro Cannon in a Poro deck.
But what else do you play Poro Cannon in? Because you need to...
Is it like Vanya OTK? Something like that?
What kind of OTK?
Vanya, is that like the only potential for this?
Yeah,
like
but...
You stack Vanyaps and then you stack Daring Poros? Something like that? I guess here's a question. Where does this card fit in terms of a constructed deck?
Dude, Poro Snack synergy is real, I'm just saying. Yeah, you laugh now. Just wait until I clap your ass with my Vanya Poro deck.
I mean,
I think I'll keep laughing. I won't give this card a 0 just because I don't think it's that bad.
What? Are you nuts? I would give it a 3 at least.
No, I said it's not that bad. I wouldn't give it a 0. I don't think it's...
You wouldn't give it a 0, okay.
No, I would not give it a 0.
I don't know, it can activate stuff.
Yes, but is Rummage always going to be better for that type of value?
But you play this and Rummage, usually.
Yeah, but this and Rummage doesn't make sense because look, you have Poro Cannon, is one card you use up and you discard one. So you go 2 for 2 with the Daring Poros. You don't generate additional value.
It depends on how much stuff you have to discard.
Yeah.
Let's say,
all I'm saying, if you play this, you lose 2 cards from hand to get 2 cards into hand. Like your hand size doesn't change.
It would be 2 different decks, I think, because I don't see... Because Rummage would want to go into your deck, and plus, this is more about creating 2 particular cards.
I guess it would be best in like Noxus stuff, like go white with vision and stuff, maybe.
Maybe.
Like just straight up PNZ Noxus.
Do you play Vonyip and what's that? What's the 1-drop if you plunder? It gives...
Oh, you don't need Vonyip. I guess. Yeah, you don't need it.
No,
like, it's too slow.
To be honest though, if I was serious, I would probably only give it a 2. But
I'm close to a 1. I don't really know where this card sees
it's
play,
like...
But I think it's not that awful, like atrocious tier.
Yeah.
I don't know, I would give it a 3. I think it has a lot of potential that we'll see in the future. Maybe right now, I cannot come up with anything broken, but I feel like it will be good.
Yeah. I just think right now the decks you would want to play the card in are not good. That's the main problem.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, so optimistic 1, or I guess that's not even optimistic. I don't think this card is like atrocious. This isn't going neg. This isn't, just like, look at the card next to it. That card's a 0.
Okay. So wait, Matt is at 1 for Poro Cannon, right?
Correct.
Okay. Nocturne?
Yeah.
Is that... Wait, did you mean Nocturne when you said this card's a 0?
No.
Okay.
No. I defending Poro Cannon to a certain extent.
Okay. Surprising.
Okay, Nocturne. How good is it? Like, I mean, I don't know how good is it. How trash is it?
Very. It's confusing.
I don't think it's that trash.
Okay, it's not that bad on its own, but it doesn't have any home.
If Nightfall aggro is good, then Nocturne is actually busted.
Yeah, but it won't be good.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point. But also, just the card, I really dislike cards that are counterintuitive on their own whatever they're intended for. So it's a fearsome card, and it also gives vulnerable to something. Yeah,
but that doesn't have to be a bad thing because one of your non-fearsomes can pull aside a fearsome blocker. Think about it.
Right, I didn't say like giving something vulnerable as opposed to giving it nothing is better.
Yeah.
But it seems like fearsome, the overall strategy is to avoid those interactions.
Yeah, true.
This card.
I'm just saying before Nocturne is flipped, the vulnerable is actually good. Because not all your allies are gonna have fearsome. And then like your 1/1 Wild Feast Spider can pull aside a fearsome blocker.
Just grab the one blocker. Yeah. Okay.
Dude, not gonna lie, I actually think the card's good. In itself. The supporting cards are not good enough, but in itself I think the card's good.
I can agree that it's good on its own. But we won't play it.
Maybe.
Yeah, I clearly
when
it's
you
not
think
a
about it,
horribly static card.
Kalista with Mistrat will be way better than this.
Probably.
Oh, absolutely.
So
yeah.
Still, since for my part, since we said we look at cards individually, I'll give Nocturne a 4. But I just think the whole deck could easily only be 2 or 3.
Yeah, I can agree on that. Like on its own, because it has comparable stats to Ash, right? And Ash gives you like value over time with every attack, and this gives you way more value on this one attack that you play him, which is more aggressive. So it really fits the fearsome team.
Yeah.
So it's really aggressive, can push a lot of damage, you can pull away the only minion that has more than 3 attack. So yeah, I can even agree on 4. Like, would you give an Ash a 4 or 5?
On her own a 4. I would just give her a 5 because of other supporting cards. But Ash on her own is a 4.
So I can agree on Nocturne being a 4 on its own.
Fortunately, I think the difference here would be that Ash doesn't have a condition for her effect, which makes her a lot better. I think Nightfall makes this card a whole lot worse.
Oh yeah,
Maybe.
that's also true.
But keep in mind that Nocturne levels in deck. So you're not sad when you draw him turn 7 at all.
What does he do on his flip side?
Give all your allies fearsome.
When you play a unit, give enemies -1.
I actually think that's really good.
I can agree on 4.
I think I'm at a 3. I feel like he might be, like I said, like Ash is a good card, but just Ash does have to attack, I guess, to get her effect, but Nocturne, you can't invest Nocturne onto the board, really. Like in Ash can be there and wait for other things to be there.
Yeah. But we'll settle on that Nightfall just needs more support. Alright, next card. If you're fine with it.
Oh yeah, no. This is a card that I really like.
Encroaching Shadows.
Yeah, I think this card has potential, right?
Yeah. I think the card is either gonna be beyond busted or garbage.
Yeah. So I guess if you guys have decks, we could do that at the end. I made a deck, and the way I see this card is with elusives. So you can think of elusives as burn spells as long as they get through their damage, they did their job. It's nice that they retain and you get more value off of that, but that's gravy. So you play an Encroaching Shadows, and then you just have all these like cheap elusive guys, and you throw them at your opponent's face. I think there could be something there.
For sure. They're just gonna be so hard to remove. Imagine a 3 HP Green Glade duo. How toxic is that?
Yeah. I agree with Lobster. It will be either super busted or unplayable. If we find a right home for this card, the right build, it might be super toxic.
Oh, absolutely. If that elusive idea is anywhere close to even just like tier 2 tier, that would just be ultra toxic to play against.
Yeah. Also, 2 things I'm thinking of is what's it called? The Geisha lady, Silent Shadow Seer or something, who still bounces to hand.
That's yes,
value generation.
Absolutely, that's what I have in my deck list. I play 3 of it.
And and another thing, imagine Kinko Wayfinder pulling 2 4/3 Navori Blades.
Yes.
Fuck this.
We're on the wavelength here. That's the deck I made.
Damn. But that deck is so toxic. So it's so degenerate.
Absolutely. Right, that's why I said if it's anywhere close to playable status, it's going to be so annoying to play against.
Yeah. So I'm just saying the card in itself, even for future sets, is always going to have sick potential. I'm definitely willing to give this a 4 or a 5.
Yeah, I will give it a 4 for like it has a lot of potential.
Yeah, as soon as it hits the right home, it's going to be sick.
Yeah, buffing your deck is good. I think a 4 is warranted, and if it just doesn't work out, like you said, granted, there's no like block rotation or something like that we'll see in the future. It'll just be one of those cards in the back of players' minds, and unfortunately, it'll be a hard card for developers and balancers to really work around.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this card will just break it. So we'll see that. I think this card has a lot of potential, though.
Yeah, also keep in mind that the second copy of Encroaching Shadows doesn't have a downside anymore.
Yeah, just makes them even bigger.
So yeah, but like right now I'm hesitant to give it a 5. I'll stick it at a 4.
Yeah, I'll give it a 4 optimistically, and there is a chance this card is just bad. But
Yeah.
I like this card could be pretty good.
Yeah. And can the next card ever be good? Dusk Rider?
No.
Right, it's a 0. Can we move?
Yeah, this card terrible.
Yeah, I'm with the 0 totally. Passage Unearned?
It's also a 0. It's just a sideboard card that we don't have a sideboard in this game, so we never played this.
It was very interesting that Lobster brought up sideboards before, and this card really makes me think like they want sideboards because Riot is really so we've all known that tournament mode has taken forever. They have not endorsed any sort of format yet, and they don't like the conquest format and the bans, and so maybe they're trying to make side decks a thing, and this is one of the predecessors to a sideboard.
Maybe. I think the idea is just that so many people were pissed at, for example, not enough regions even having an answer to Unyielding Spirit. And I think they just want to give more regions more answers overall so that the community cannot like cry about stuff anymore, right? You can't bitch about not being able to deal with something if there is a card.
That's not feasible, right? They're always going to complain.
Yeah, but at least Riot can say, hey, then just play triple Passage Unearned and stop crying.
Okay, yeah, I think passing under that's a 0 too, right? Like,
okay.
This card.
Just because I like it being a tech choice and sideboard and shit, it's maybe still a 0. I'm optimistic. I give it a 1.
Like honestly, there is a word that you would play a 1 of it if meta is like really heavy on that stuff.
If everyone runs Harrowing, you just demolish people's souls.
Yeah, but like, that's the only case.
Someone in chat is saying Dusk Rider plus Atrocity. How's that ever good? Like Dusk Rider on average is gonna be at maximum like a 7/5, maybe an 8/5.
There's only what 4 Nightfall cards in the game? Oh no, there's 5. Okay, there's 5 Nightfall cards in the whole game, right?
No, I think there is a couple more if you also count Targon. But I'm not even sure if Targon. Yeah, I'm not even sure if Targon Shadow Isles is gonna be the Nightfall you want to play.
Can we not talk about Dusk Rider? It makes me really sad.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a decent card, right? This card's decent. Stalking Shadows.
Thank you. It's great, right? It's freaking great.
So I know a lot of people initially reacted very poorly to this card. They thought it was going to be another tool for Endure to abuse, and I think that's probably true, but I was honestly anticipating Endure to get hit. Apparently that's not true, so I was trying to think of a second purpose for this card, and the obvious choice would be Mist Wraiths, right? Like you just so would this make Mist Wraiths good enough to see more than Fringe play?
I think Mist Wraith was really close to being playable.
Oh no, yeah, the Wraith Callers.
The new stuff makes it. Like, I think it would be good. And, like this card on its own is just a value. Like 2 mana creates 2 cards in your hand. It's just great, and you get to pick a follower. So
yeah, this card's also going to be good in combo with Encroaching Shadows. Think about it.
And with Encroaching Shadows, then yeah. But like, overall, like even on its own, if you play it in a random deck, like literally a random deck, if you have this, it's still good. Like you would be never sad about having this card in your deck, in your hand. So yeah.
Yeah, unless you run a spell heavy deck. It's like you need a minion deck for sure.
Right, and
99% of Runeterra decks
right,
are
True.
minion heavy.
right.
Because
It's-
The units are very good in Legends of Runeterra.
I already also heard someone that it might be an interesting tech for deep. Just because you can find like Drag Dredgers,
Okay.
Dead Bloom.
I can get down with that sort of like you copy the. You can choose like the more value ones if you need that. If you need to go turbo deep, you could choose that. Okay.
Yeah. I'm somewhere between 4 and 5 on this.
I'll give it 5.
Yeah, I think this is amongst the strongest cards in the set. I would give it a 5.
Okay. I'll be conservative and give it a 4. But it's definitely strong.
Right. I think we're going to see if this card is not as strong as we might anticipate. It just there won't be the deck for it. But I think the card in general is a pretty strong card.
Yeah, I do agree. Alright, Risen Mists. I gotta admit, when I first read this card, saw this card, I thought this is like hot garbage, and then I realized you can burst attack and burst block with this.
Yep.
And then I was like...
Yeah, we've seen Jury Rig see value simply because of that.
Exactly. And Jury Rig is not a potential like 6-2 fearsome.
I really like that,
Yeah.
honestly.
I hate it because I hate playing units at burst because I think that's silly, but it seems like it could be a decent card. Obviously, it's contingent on how good a Mistwraith deck is.
Yeah, but the card in itself, I think, is actually good. Because even if you play it on defense, think about it. If like you get a burst speed 5 or 6 attack blocker, which your opponent like
killing
is
Strain
not
for
exactly. Like your opponent's not inclined to remove it mid combat.
Right, and we've seen in Runeterra when you can convert your spell mana into units, that's a very strong play.
True.
So
I'm willing to give this. Sorry.
The most really good stuff about this is you can open attack with a Dame. Like
yeah,
sometimes it will give you like 6-7 power because it also buffs the other Mistwraith you have.
Exactly.
So if you hire like on Mistwraith on 2, Red Collar on 4, and play this on like 5 or 6, it gives you like 4
if you have the
power.
attack on 5, you could probably make some pretty insane open attacks.
Yeah, it's just great. I would give it like I don't know. It's like, is it a 3 or 4? I don't know.
I'm a 3 because like I said, it really just depends on how good a Mistwraith deck is. So
Yeah, it kind of is.
Yeah, like I'm gonna say I'd give it a 4 just because. Yeah, I mean, obviously you're never gonna play this card on its own. You'll at least have Wraith Callers in the deck, and with the flexibility it has, I can see giving it a 4.
You can even play it in Karma, Spooky Karma. Okay, I would give it a 4. You could play Spooky Mistwraith.
Yeah, and then you go like double burst speed blockers.
And like it's not that bad
a whole board of them.
late game even. So yeah.
Yeah, I'll still stay on the 3. I think that I just don't know how good Mistwraiths will be because Mistwraiths was the first deck I played, so I like them, even though they're cancerous and they were cancerous at the time. But don't know. We haven't really seen them come back in any form. Like, we see them fringe. Like there's like a fringe Endure Mistwraith deck.
It's fair.
All right,
It's really hard to predict.
right.
Okay.
Yep. So Doom Beast. Any strong feelings about this card? It seems okay, I guess.
I will say, to me, it kind of just looks like a worse Legion Grenadier. You pay 1 more mana for 1 more Nexus damage, because usually the drain won't matter. Like the healing, because you want to play this in a fast deck.
Right.
That being
it's
said,
an aggro card.
yeah, that being said, it is a tool for aggro decks. Like, and it has a Nightfall keyword, which might at some point synergize with other cards. So I don't know, it's like okay.
I always say this: you almost never want to main deck this, but you will be glad that you get it Unspeakable Horror.
Oh, that's a good point. But if you
Like,
don't
you-
main deck it, you don't have enough Nightfall stuff, I feel like.
Yeah. But you don't want to play the Nocturne deck. So
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like,
it's
but you
like
have to
decent,
because you
but-
need the Nightfall activator. It's so awkward,
Right,
but you don't really
Yeah,
want
but-
to.
so you don't play Nocturne then. Because you don't want to play bad
Yeah, you
card.
probably just don't play either of these.
Yeah,
So,
I'm
I will give it a
somewhere.
1.
Okay, I give it a 2.
It's so hard to judge because I've given cards that are worse a 1, but this card does not seem like, I don't know where it fits really. It's just not very good.
I mean, on its own, it could be a 2-star, I guess, but
Yeah, that's why I'm on the 2.
Yeah, as a 3-mana 3/2 with a little bit of upside. Okay.
I could switch to 2. Like, on its own, it's not that bad.
Well, right. It's not like severely understated like we'll see some other cards. So yeah, I guess a 2 is fine. Maybe Nightfall is important enough that you would need this card.
Mm-hmm.
Unspeakable Horror.
Unspeakable Horror,
No.
I think, is actually good.
Yep. It's basically, like,
a
obviously,
little
it's really
awkward.
similar to Vilefist, but you get more value. So you prefer to play Vilefist on like 10-2, 3, 4, but then Unspeakable Horror is better on like 10-6, 7, 8. So
Yes.
and they're pretty similar, and you can use it on Nexus.
You can-
so
exactly.
You could trigger something or just deal damage to Nexus. So it's just a meta call, or like it depends on your deck if you rather play this or Vilefist. So they're very similar.
Yeah, and because
Um,
Vilefist is so good, I'm somewhere between 4 and 5 on this. If Nightfall decks are actually playable, then this card's nuts. It's gonna
Oh,
be
yeah.
3 off.
There's like a few different components of this card that I really am not that big of a fan of. One is a cheap spell that's Nightfall, but you want to play your cheaper cards in a turn first, which means this card needs another activator to get that full value. And then as a defensive card, I would have to think about it a lot more, but one of the most important parts is that 1/1 body, which is this card clearly does not have.
Yeah, but you also want to play it more in an aggressive deck that doesn't care as much about the 1/1, but cares more about like keeping not
In an
running out of
aggressive-
steam.
In an aggressive deck, also though, that 1/1 body is like you kill their unit and produce your own unit. I think that's also more conducive to an aggro deck. So Unspeakable Horror, like this card clearly isn't bad by any means, but where do you play it?
Yeah, it's kind of similar with Nocturne. That card in itself is really good. I'm not sure if it has a home. I give it a 4 for a similar reason I gave Nocturne a 4.
It's basically the same as Nocturne.
Yeah, I'll give it a 3.
So far,
Clearly-
also.
Yeah. Card that's not getting a 3.
Okay.
this- How do you call this? How do you say this card? Stygian?
Stygian, I'd say.
Stygian? Okay.
Onlooker, let's say it's
Yeah, the onlooker. Good call, you.
Alright.
Yeah, oof. Card by itself is not good, but it's one of the few Nightfall cards that exist. If you want to play Nightfall, you'll probably have to play it. But the card in itself is just not that great.
But imagine this. You play the 1-drop with the petal. I don't remember from Targon.
Yeah.
Then you
Alright.
play it on turn 2.
You play 2 of these?
Onlooker. Wait, does it make sense? No.
No, not really. But
Well, what I will say though is that even on later turns, like it's obviously not a real 1-drop. And if you play it on turn 3 or 4, your opponent still has to decide whether he wants to take 4 damage or whether he wants to trade his 2 or 3 cost unit with your 1 cost unit.
yeah.
So
So I wanted this card to work in a way that it doesn't. I wanted it to work with in that deck. I wanted it to work with what's it called? Kinko Wayfinder, and then you would just summon 6/3 with Fearsome from your deck. But that's not how it
I
works.
think it's a
No.
play. affect
Yeah.
Nightfall.
Yeah. I didn't realize that at first. It doesn't work that way. So yeah, I don't know what this card does.
Yeah, with this, like for a similar reason, I don't even know. Like it might just see play because people want to play Nightfall. I just don't think the card in itself is very good.
Yeah, I'm inclined to give this card a 1. I don't know if it was the same thing with Deep. If that keyword is just that valuable, so a card like Jettison at the time was very hard to evaluate because on the surface, horrible card. You're going -1, but if going deep was important enough, that card is good.
True.
So I guess this card is of similar evaluation.
Yeah,
I would give it a 2.
Yeah, I'm somewhere around 2 as well. I could see it be a 3, but yeah, like I said, maybe because if Nightfall is good, then the card is obviously going to be better in C play, but just by itself in other decks, it's just not a very good card. It's easy to remove, and you don't want to play it on turn 1 usually. Yeah, it doesn't look that amazing.
If you play 1-drop in your deck, you really want to play it on turn 1, and this doesn't play it on turn 1.
Shroud of Darkness is interesting.
Okay, this card is interesting. It is a right word, but do you ever play it outside of Endure?
Is that like the play in here? You just play this play Endure
as a 1 or 2 of an Endure as a combo piece?
Yep. I mean, that's the only home I see right now for it.
I could see it in... If Nightfall aggro is actually a thing, you probably want like 2 of this card. Just because it also activates Nightfall super, super easily.
Yeah, but you lose a card just to activate a Nightfall.
Yeah, I think that... Yeah, I'm inclined to agree that I'd rather use something cheap or free like a gem or a generated card.
Yeah, but this one's in Shadow Eyes.
That's true. I don't think this card's good.
Yeah, there aren't really that many cards you really need the spell sheet on, though. It would be Nocturne and maybe something like Z if you play it in the same deck, or like some sort of engine. But it's hard to predict. I'm not sure how much Nightfall decks are gonna need this, and I'm not sure how good Nightfall decks will be. I still give it a solid 3 as a standalone card, because like someone can sometimes surely find a good use for it.
No, I don't agree, because you have to play it on a target, like in a deck that when you play a certain card, you win.
Right, I agree with that.
It's only Endure, I feel like. Like it's only Endure that says that. Like I want to play Endure and attack. So
yeah, okay. I'm pretty sure it was meant to be for like Nocturne or even a card like Unlooker. I don't even know. No, Unlooker is probably too troll, but something like that.
It has to be like I invest a card into this combo that's going to win me the game this turn.
That's a good point. Or at least set up lethal. Yeah.
Right. Like it has to be doing a lot that turn. So I'm inclined to give it like, I don't even know. It just doesn't seem very playable. A 1?
I would give it a 1.
Okay. Yeah, I think you convinced me. I go down to a 2. That's probably enough to represent the potential. Okay, wait, how much more do we have? Just Targon left, right? But a lot of cards.
Oh, man. Wait, how long are we doing this already?
Like,
I don't know.
Oh, holy shit. Probably close to 2 hours already.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I think we should hurry up a little bit.
Yeah. So, do we want to go, like, before the Targon, do we gonna go through Celestial first? Like,
You want to look at the Celestials?
Like, do we rate the Celestials? Because it's kind of... I don't know how to...
I think we don't have to rate every Celestial.
Right, but I guess we could talk about it, sort of, just
to
give context of what we're
I like
talking
the
about.
idea.
Because like, I haven't even read all these yet.
Okay, does anyone want to give a quick like summary on Celestials? Because I think the Celestials are all like somewhat similar power level. But since you can't main deck them, like I wouldn't give the Celestial cards ratings.
Yeah.
Like, all the Celestial minions are slightly better than its mana cost, so like you would
Right.
never get like a 2 mana to
The
2.
units are better than the spells for the Celestial cards.
Yeah.
The spells are pretty underwhelming.
Exactly, but obviously we do get the versatility, the optionality of discovering and like
Right.
finding a spell that's just good for the situation.
Right. So is it you discover, or what's the keyword called for Celestials?
Invoke.
So you pick from 3. Is that the number that we're going with?
Exactly. And
Yeah,
some Celestials also only give you like from a certain mana cost and so on.
Right. They have more predictable ranges.
And there is also a case that like all the invokes are more likely to give you a low mana cost than high mana cost.
So if you want to
it's not written anywhere, but Riot said that.
Okay.
Like, you are more likely to get a low mana cost than a high mana cost card.
that makes it so much more confusing to evaluate
Yeah.
when looking at deck. Just like, oh yeah, you're more
because
likely.
we don't know the exact like odds.
Right, you don't know what that means. I don't like that, but so in terms of like the keyword value, so in Hearthstone, people, if you ever played, people like this term called a cost curve analysis. So what would you give the cost of invoke on a card? What in terms of like mana to? So like, let's say you have a 1 mana 1/1 and a 1 mana 1/1 with invoke. How much more costly would that invoke have to be?
Oh yeah, I did I did this thought experiment recently, and I think it was something, depending on the card, it was like 1.5 to 2 mana. Or
I would say it's like 1.5. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the range is rather 1.25 to 2 mana. So yeah, it's about 1.5, a bit more on average. And if you then look at the Celestial cards and add like 1.5 or say 1.6, 1.7 mana to everything, they're just not that good anymore.
Yeah.
By themselves.
No, I
Except that there are other cards like both Celestial and non-Celestial that get additional bonuses for each Celestial card you played this game. Do this and that.
Right.
So the Celestial tag has a slight upside, which makes them slightly more valuable.
Yeah, that's true there because the synergy. Okay.
Yeah.
So
like a great example would be the 7 mana card, the Destroyer. 7 mana, 7/7, overwhelm spell shield. So it's most of the time going to get a hit in.
Yeah, some of these game enders are pretty strong. The Immortal Fire Destroyer.
Yeah, for sure. Immortal Fire can just be blocked by a Chump Elusive though, but...
Yeah. But the strength of Elusive is contingent on your opponent not having it. It'll be interesting to see how it shapes up, but I guess we could look at the cards themselves now.
Yeah, I just want to ask you about one of those cards, and that is Cosmic Inspiration. 7 mana, slow. If you behold a Celestial card, grant allies everywhere +2/+2, and refill your spell mana.
Oh, I haven't actually looked at this card yet.
Is it just me, or is this just on average like way better than other Celestial cards?
So it's basically a 4 mana +2/+2 to everything, right?
Exactly. And yeah,
It's
it does
slow,
have behold thing.
But usually if you play Celestial deck,
It should be that hard.
Yeah, it's not that hard. Yeah, it seems pretty good, but in Celestial deck, do you really care for the buffs? Like,
here's the thing. I think you want this to stabilize in the mid game. Because against mid-range decks, you'll fall behind so much on tempo in the mid game.
Wait, but do I have it translated right? It's grant everywhere?
Yeah, everywhere. On board, on hand, and deck.
Okay, because I have some...
10 cards to be generated, yeah.
Like, I think Cosmic Inspiration is one of the cards that could potentially make Celestials playable.
Here. Yeah,
like,
there's definitely potential.
Yeah, if you can get this somewhat consistently, you can somewhat survive through the mid game, right? And then
And that will be a big if, right? We'll see how
I like
obtainable this
how
card
you had
is.
to use somewhat 3 times in that sentence to make this card good.
Like to make the archetype
Almost,
good, rather.
kinda, a little good.
All right. Do we want to continue with Targon cards now?
Yes, please.
Unfortunately, we have
Let's
to.
continue. I wanna finish this today.
Yeah. Aurelian Sol?
So this is Wet Timmy's dream.
Yeah.
But I feel like it will be never playable.
Wait, did you just say Wet Jimmy's dream?
No, Timmy.
Timmy.
If you ever
It's a
played
Timmy
MTG.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just like a big statted thing. Yeah, Timmy
Yeah.
definitely was whacking the wheelie a little too much with this card. It's awful.
Yeah, it's like, when are 10 drops ever good?
Never. Well,
No,
I gotta say, like, probably coolest sounds and best card art in the game, but yeah, the card itself.
colorful, I guess.
I mean, I will play it all the time, but it's
Yeah,
super
for
bad.
sure. Like, how good is the card?
Oh, I will
actually?
not be caught dead ever playing this card.
I think I try to be super optimistic just because I like big cards, and I give it a 2.
0. I think this card's unplayable.
I'll give it 1.
What's the Aurelian Salt deck? Why does it
Invoke?
exist?
Full Invoke? I don't even know.
This card is going to have to get adjusted, right? This will probably be after like the initial hype, the least played champion, just because of its cost.
Yeah,
I guess maybe Vlad. Nope, I haven't seen a Vlad deck in months now.
like we just need a meta that, a greedy meta allows Sol to be okay. But
You can only play it like you can cheat it out with trash. That's the only thing.
Right, but that's such like you have to have Thresh, you have to level up Thresh, and then you have to attack with Thresh, and then nothing bad goes anywhere in between.
Yeah, like I'm saying best case for it.
Right. Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, clearly you're gonna. If this card can never get cheated out in some way, then this card would just be, why print this card?
Fair.
Because,
Like it's a 10 mana card that does nothing when it enters the battlefield. So
yeah.
Oh
It's
yeah, Monkey
unfair.
Cap in chat is saying in a ramp Freljord deck. I love the optimism.
okay, let's go to Tariq.
Every
Let's go to
expensive card is
Tarek,
good in a
true.
ramp Frey deck.
So what does Tarek do again? I forgot.
Yeah, I also forgot. Give me my support.
It was one of the first previewed ones. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really forgot.
And the flip Tarek doubles all the spells or something, right?
So at first, I was really upset with Tarek because I thought the flipped card was the card, and I thought this card was the best card ever printed. And then I read the front side.
Yo, Hawkeye, thanks for the
you
raid.
have to see a seven times targeted support. Like I didn't build a Tariq deck yet, so I don't know how it looks, but I assume it's really bad.
So, yeah, I think this card is atrocious. Its stat line is not great, and it's a support card. However, if the interesting part about this card, and the only way this card would ever be good, is this copy the last spell you cast on only me this round onto an ally. If that is valuable, if there's a way to abuse that, then this card might see play.
Yeah. Like, we will see a lot of Tareks be played. I don't think the card's ever gonna be, like, super good. I'm not too sold on support archetypes being strong yet. And I don't think it's that good with Lulu.
Like even on its own, it's not that good, this card, so I would give it a 1.
Yeah. I'm like on 1 or 2.
Wow, am I the more optimistic one? I think this card's like a 2.
Yeah, I
think
stick with
that-
2.
like I said,
Actually, it might be better than Aurelion, so...
the copy the last spell card, this could be like really good, but if it's
It
not,
might be
this card's
abused.
atrocious.
It might be abused. Like with the Tariq champion spell, it's...
Right, yeah, like you put this on Tarek and then you buff the other thing too, and something you didn't die before then.
Yeah, still
Yeah,
5
okay,
mana for 6/6 of stats, but it's not awful.
Okay, I would give it a 2.
Okay. We're all on 2s. Leona.
I don't like this. I'm supposed to be the one who hates everything. How did that happen?
I don't know, maybe your toxicity kind of like
It just
swamped
went
over to
reverse.
us.
I'm a
Okay,
bad
Leona.
influence.
So Leona is like overall good, legit champion. Doesn't need that much build around. Like, on its own, it's fine, but it's nothing flashy.
Yeah.
That's decent
So
stats.
unflipped stat line is acceptable. Flipped stat line is good. She's easy to flip and levels in deck. It's more like Daybreak cards. Okay, they're okay.
They're
okay.
fine.
And
they're
especially
like cards.
Yeah, the 5-drop is good, and the 5-mana Leona spell is kind of good. But she's never gonna be like busted, I feel. Maybe in some tempo aggro deck, which I'm not seeing yet.
That would have to be the thing, right? Like you go triple 1-drop and that 3-mana spell, and you have on turn 4 of a flipped Leona. That would be like.
Yeah, I could see her be able to finish out certain games on like turn 4, 5, 6 ish. So
yeah. I have a problem with Daybreak in general. I really don't understand why this is a mechanic. What is like the skill or strategy of just playing a card? You ideally play a card every turn, right?
Dude, that has nothing to do with strategy. It's literally just thematics. Nightfall needs a counterpart.
But Nightfall has strategy, right? Like you build up all the Nightfall cards in your hand and then you pop off with them. You're only incentivized to Daybreak for something that the game already incentivizes, which is play on curve.
Yeah, I'm somewhere between 3 and 4 on Leona.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm gonna say. Like 4 or 3. Like it's close to 4, honestly.
Yeah, like, on her own, I give her a 3.
Better or worse than Shen?
Oof.
Okay, let's give it a 3.
Yeah, I think it's a 3. It's like a decent stat line, but for a champion, pretty questionable.
Yeah. Like, she needs the Daybreak archetype to be good, for her to be good. So, on her own, I'm fine.
Yeah, and I think we'll see, because this set in general is introducing an unprecedented amount of keywords, so we'll see just like how good those archetypes are.
True.
And speaking of new archetypes, we have Diana. People seemed really excited for this card. I only played League of Legends in beta, so I don't know who this woman is. She looks very scary.
I just don't think the card itself is that good. I think the hero spell is insane. But I don't think Diana herself is that good.
A 2-drop that needs something. The Nightfall, like the Nightfall mechanic makes it worse. Like
on a stat line, it's a 2-mana 2/2 with quick attack. This card is going in the trash bin.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say it's trash. Like it may help Aurelion Sol. Like
it's not awful.
Low curve Diana deck with Aurelion Sol as a top end. It's genius.
Okay, maybe. It's like it could be a good stabilizing tool in the mid game, but it's just easy to remove her at 2 HP or 3 HP.
Like every 2-drop is easy to remove.
Yeah, but also you need to commit to Nightfall to play Diana. Right?
You need to.
Right. It's just
I give her a 2. I don't see her be like good.
Closer to 1, but 2.
Yeah, I'm between 1 and 2.
I'm at a 1. I think is this the worst champion in the set?
Maybe. Yeah, probably Diana and Tarek.
Probably.
Wait, Asol maybe, if we're realistic.
Okay, that's true. Aurelion Sol got a 0. Okay, Diana can get a 1 just because she's 2-mana. You can actually play Diana in the game. Whether or not that'll be good, that's different, but at least you can play it.
Alright, the Skies Descend.
Wait, does enemies means also...
No, they changed that in beta.
Okay.
I don't know how to evaluate this card because I'm inclined to say it's atrocious. Like this card just can't even be played. But
So
how much do you have to discount it for this card to be?
So you have to discount it 3 times. So you need 3 dragons or celestials. So it only works when you.
What? You can play it on 13 spell mana. It's a
I
spell.
mean, yes, but like.
Well, yes, you can. So when the card text refers to, and everybody knows that LOR is horrible card and very inconsistent card text. What does you have mean? Cards in your hand, cards on board.
On board.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of an overkill tool. It's often got to be a win more, I think.
Yeah.
And
it's only playable when you have a board. But
Yeah.
honestly, the dragon cards on its own, I feel like the dragon cards are pretty good.
yeah, dragon cards are okay.
It might be like a one-off, maybe.
Yeah, for sure. Like 2-off is probably already overkill.
Yeah.
I will give this card like 1 or 2.
It's a 1, I think.
1. I agree on a 1.
Like I said, it's so hard to evaluate this card because I don't know how. Because I can see this card is very hard to play, but how very hard to play? Like unplayable hard to play, or like fringe play hard to play? Yeah, sure.
It depends how easy it is to play.
Right. That's
questions.
right.
Yeah.
I guess.
I mean that there's.
I take it back. This
it
card
can
gets
kind
0.
of flip the tempo, like because you kind of fall behind in the early game, having to play Celestials, and then Sky's Descent can kind of flip the tempo on like turn 6, 7, 8 maybe already.
It's hard to say before playing the game, honestly. Before playing those cards.
Okay.
For now, it's a 1.
Matt, what are you giving?
Optimistic 0.
Okay. Optimistic 0, I like it. Arbiter of the Peak. Reduce my cost by 1 for each time you've targeted or supported allies this game.
Yeah.
I'd say it's better than Plaza Guardian because of Overwhelm, but it's still not good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even with the gems, it's not that good.
Yeah. So generally, as I said before, cheating mana in some form or fashion is the best thing you can do in card games, but unless you can make this card really cheap very efficiently, it's bad.
Yeah. It's like, how long do you need to actually target or support, like, say, 4 or 5 times? You need to do it 5 times for this card to actually be good. To have an upside.
And at that time, when you have it discounted 5 times, it doesn't matter that you play a 5 mana 6/6 over 1. So
yeah, optimistic 1. Maybe there's like a deck that cheats this card out and it's really broken and they have to change it, but other than that, I don't see it.
Yeah, I'm on 1 or 2, probably a 1. Yeah, I give it a 1 for now.
The Infinite Mind Split.
Szychu, you also said 1?
Yeah, it's a 1.
Okay, not gonna lie, Infinite Mind Splitter is actually a better Yone.
It's a really good card, right? I'm looking at this and I'm saying it's freaking good.
Yeah,
I really want to play this.
Only downside is it is 8 cost. A lot of games end around turn 8, but dude, this card is legit.
Yeah,
also,
it reads pretty well.
Don't forget that Targon has access to spell shields. Like, you can actually protect this.
You just lock down. Okay. Yeah, this card's fine.
Like, you play it on your own turn, like on your attack token. So you play it on like the biggest use and they just cannot attack you. I don't know, it's just great for a control deck.
Yeah. What I will say though, it's not as much of a tempo card because the turn it is played, it does not stun.
Yep.
So the value just starts at turn 9. So I'm on like...
When we're talking about these... When you try to evaluate really heavy costed cards, you have to compare them to cards that like kill your opponent. So like a Ladros or something like that. Or a Riptide Rex. Like, so compare this card to a Riptide Rex. I don't know, it's okay. Like, it's interesting.
I'm on like 304 for this.
Not for free, but remember you can kinda cheat it out. Like you have A 2 mana,
There's basically just count dragons, right?
2 mana, and you have petals, which can decrease the cost of it. So, like, you could possibly play it on like turn 6, 7, sometimes.
I'm a little pessimistic on this card. I can give it a 2. Maybe it sees play in like a control deck.
Okay, I will give it 3.
Yeah.
I really want to see it.
Okay, Sun Guardian is bad.
Yeah, it's trash.
Yep.
Do we agree on this? Do we have to talk about it? How trash
Oh,
it is?
absolutely not. This
Yeah.
card's terrible.
Like, with the reactivation, I'm thinking about giving it a 1, but even that's kind of optimistic.
No,
Yeah, it's super
this
optimistic.
is-
Yeah, it goes
Very
0.
bad.
Like, it could be a fine card if there is more Daybreak cards in Leona, like archetype, like Daybreak archetype
Yeah.
is better. No, but right now there is no way.
Okay, I don't know how to read the next one.
Invilus Vox.
Yeah, something like that.
I have no idea. I butchered that.
The card's actually good.
Yep. Like the dragons, overall are fine, and
Yeah.
this lets you like this is basically a machine, a value machine. So
Exactly.
Yeah, we've seen a card like this be valuable in other card games, so it has potential at worst.
What do we put? I'd also be like on 3 or 4 here.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it's a
three.
solid 3.
solid 3. I agree.
Yeah, 3 sounds
It's a
good.
little understated for its cost, but like I said, we've seen cards like a value generator that sit there and accumulate shit just work before, so maybe
Exactly.
something like that.
Also, Fury gives it potentially, like, makes it worth their stats.
Yeah,
Maybe.
just makes the card more valuable just by virtue of being on
Okay.
it. So
Is Cygnus the Moonstalker to Pepega? Be honest.
I don't want to answer that because then I would have to acknowledge what that means. But this card is why.
Like, is there any tempo or aggro deck this is actually good? I mean, it can be up to
I don't
like
know.
10 damage if you give this to Nocturne, I guess.
And it's basically a finisher, but do you want like 6 mana finisher which has 2 HP?
And needs
And it
Nightfall.
requires a second card. Why?
Yeah.
Just like I said, you have to compare it to like Ladros. Ladros is one card that does a ton of damage. You would have to combine 2 cards with this and hope nothing bad goes.
Yeah, I'm kind of comparing this to Windfarer Hatchling, but
the
bird.
Yeah, I know, but that card's much better.
Yeah, this one's a bit overcosted. I don't know. It's not
It has
complete
elusive-
trash. I give it 1 or
Right.
2.
Yeah, I think it's a 1 just because
It's a 1.
elusive. Right.
Yeah.
There's something there.
I give it an optimistic 2 as if people run it as a 1 or 2 of finisher.
Sure. I'm still giving it a 1 because
Okay, Mountain.
very clunky.
Yeah, true. Mountain Sojourners. I forgot what this does. Grant my supported ally +2/+2 if that ally has support. Also grant
It's
it.
basically a support Jabate. Play a support deck.
Yeah. The card
Yeah.
on itself, I think the card's sick value. It's just that the archetype's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you
I mean,
curve
if the archetype
down,
is bad, then this card is also bad because.
Yeah, if you-
support-
this card, you would have to have the attack on 5 for this card to just be anywhere close to good, right? You'd have to like go curve with the attack on 5, play this, just make a big board, but there's a lot that goes wrong there.
All
But
I'm
then again,
saying,
if you have like Tariq on 4 into this on 5 and any other minion, then kinda sick, right?
Yeah.
all I'm saying is it's a total 6/9 in stats. So it's kind of memey.
I don't know what
I
that
see.
means, but I don't like
On
it.
its own, like even if it just supports 1 card, it's a 5 mana 4/7, which is not awful. It can be a 5 mana 6/9, and it can be a trashy 5 mana 2/5. On its own, I don't know. I think the stats kind of are good though. I give it a 3.
It's an optimistic too.
Sure.
Yeah, support makes me think that this card is probably just not going to be good. I'll go for a 2.
Yeah. Shards of the Mountain. Oof.
Do we have an Ezreal Targon deck? It's only played in that one, right? When you can just kill them with one card. You don't need that many spells if you have Ezreal.
True.
So this card is clearly very over the top, right? Just generates a stupid amount of cards.
Yeah.
And that has potential, right? Because just like creating a lot of anything has potential. However, it's just really contingent on how good gems are, and I don't think gems are good.
Yeah, I don't see anything being good with this right now. What do gems do again? Like one healing and one attack, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they can't be played during combat or in response to another spell.
Yeah, like I tempted to give this card a 0.
Yeah, it's a 0.
Wow, I'm actually giving this card a 2 because I think there's, like I said, there's just potential when you just get a stupid amount of anything.
That is absolutely true. Like, but I can only think of Ezreal.
Oh, absolutely. Like what that potential is, I don't know. But I think that there will, or no, I don't want to say will, but there potentially is something there. So I'm inclined to give it a 2. Right now, I don't think it's playable.
Brought back Protector.
People shit on this card so much. I really don't think it's that bad.
I think it's bad.
What? It's such like it's an interesting way to have 9 healing on a body and then spread out over turns and
yeah, but then the body doesn't do anything if you have...
Oh, absolutely. But think of it like think of like any traditional like strategy game where you make like a building or something. The building doesn't actually attack, but it gets value. That's kind of what like a construct in what's it called? I can't even think of those stupid games, but just like this card doesn't attack ever or block really. It sits there and heals.
Yeah, it's if it could give you like the option of whether you want to heal or not, the card would be good. But like this,
oh, it would be real good.
I have a question. If you have 20 HP, does it?
It doesn't damage itself.
Okay, that's good to know.
Because it's only equal. So like, let's say you have 19, it only does 1 to itself.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Wait, if you have 19, it only does 1 to itself, guaranteed.
Mm-hmm. The amount healed. So if you overheal yourself, you only heal for 1.
Oh,
right?
okay.
We'll see how it plays out because wording like that is always interpretive.
Yeah.
It's not that bad, honestly. But do you ever play this in any deck?
It's like 1 or 2, I don't know. I don't know, maybe this is for the Aurelian Sol decks to get to the late game.
To make it there, you put regeneration on it.
And give it res and heal, but I don't know.
I'm inclined to give it a 2.
Honestly, it's only playable when there is a burn meta.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. If it's just
only
like,
the case when you play it. Like, otherwise, you'd never play it. I feel like
that card might be okay with gems, though.
With gems, okay.
Oh, you just make him big.
Like it also heals, so
right. So you make him big. He heals your space. It heals him. Nice triangle there.
Yeah, I'm starting to like this a bit more. I'm somewhere on 1 or 2 on this card.
I'm inclined to give it a 2 just because, like I said, I like it's a creative design, and
for sure, I think
there's a lot of not creative design in the set, so I like this card.
Okay, Szychu?
I'll give it a 2.
Yeah, I think the card could be good if it synergizes well with Soraka cards, obviously. Right now, it can't block Fearsomes, though. It's like it downtrades to a lot. In certain metas, it can be okay. I'm gonna give it a 1 for now.
That's fair.
Like it can't kill any.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue if somebody gave this card a 1. It's clearly not very good.
Yeah, it could be good with Soraka cards. I just leave it at that.
I think it's interesting though. Some thought was expended into this card. It wasn't just let's take this base stat of 1/2 and what archetype it is in. Okay, it gets +2/+0.
Oh, chat has a sweet idea. Give this guy regeneration with Augur.
Yeah, I think that was one of the first things people said for just to make it to the late game with like a not Endure, War Mother control deck. So
Dude, yes. War Mother's Targon with Aurelion Sol. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Okay, Mentor of the Stones.
People are really hyped about this card. It's okay.
I think this is one of the best cards in Targon, which doesn't have to mean much, but...
I can agree, like, it creates a lot of stuff. You can do a lot of stuff with this card. Obviously, it dies to everything that is one damage, but...
The problem is if it dies before it...
Right, so you have to have the attack, right? You can't play this card without the attack because it would just be liable to die to everything, and then you're out a 3-mana card.
And you really don't want to put a spell shield or something on this. I'm giving it a 4 just because it still holds a lot of value, but there's no way this is a 5 because it's so easy to remove.
And even if it's removed, you still get something.
Yeah, but still, every mana you get.
Sometimes they have to go out of their way to remove it, so...
Yeah, but then like it's been said before, it just goes back to how good gems are then. So the floor of this card would just be evaluated by how good gems are. I'm inclined to give it like a 2. I really don't see it.
It's a 3 for me. It's a solid card.
Yeah, I'm somewhere between 3 and 4 as well, now that I think about it. If you can protect it, it's going to be really nice. If it gets the support value twice, it's sick.
Oh, absolutely. But...
yeah, that's a hard thing to accomplish. Grandfather Ramul.
What is this thing? A Yeti? And it's not a... What?
It looks like
it's like a Alistar.
A what?
Alistar from League.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it looks like a cow on steroids, doesn't it?
Yep.
It's something. It's not very good.
Do you ever play this in your deck? Like 8 mana doesn't win you the game, doesn't like do anything basically.
I mean, Overwhelm is nice on this along with Spell Shield. It will get 1 hit in, but it's a finisher.
I guess. Wait. I said it, but it's Tryndamere. It's basically
kinda.
Yeah.
What do you want to give for HP though?
Yeah. What's the point of 0-4?
This is an expedition card, right? Like it's like a decent value card.
Yeah. Like completely by itself, it's not trash. I'm somewhere around 2, I think.
Yeah, it's not awful. It's a 2. Maybe it's a 1 in constructed because like why would you ever play this?
Why would you play it like ever?
Yeah, it's not even nearly as good as like Riptide Rex, Leviathan, Farron, the other Aatrox.
And what I brought it up before. It's just like you have to compare 8 and 9 cost cards. So Ladros, Riptide Rex. Like, is this card anywhere close to that? Absolutely not. So it's probably
it's a 1-star for me.
Yeah, it's a 1, but I don't think it's that bad in a format in which you're not allowed to just construct a deck, which is... Nobody cares about that, but... Alright, Sunburst. A lot of people were excited about this card. I'm not.
I am not sure, I have to admit. This is, again, super meta dependent.
Okay, so I would say it's a really bad card, but it will be played only due to like Targon does not have removal, so it will be played to deal with annoying stuff. But it's a bad card. you won't be happy about playing it.
I was very amused that in the video that this card was previewed in, that they put it in the best, absolute best scenario with Ladros. And in which case, yeah, I guess that's okay, but I'm not a fan of slow spells in general.
Yeah, also there's some stuff it just doesn't have enough reach to remove, like Leviathan and Swain.
Right, so think about Vengeance. Vengeance is like a good card in a very specific deck in a region that's very conducive to that. Sunburst is worse than that card, and Vengeance already doesn't see a whole lot of play. Like, it sees play in particular decks, but Sunburst is bad.
Do we know how this works against, like, Spell Shield? It just removes the spell sheet, right? It does the damage doesn't go
it
through.
should remove the spell sheet. Like it would not do the damage, I feel like.
Okay. Yeah, then
I don't know.
I don't think it's too good.
Like
like,
I said,
okay.
it's a really bad card, but you will still play it because it's in Targon.
Right, because Targon doesn't have cards. Yeah, no, I get that for sure.
That's true. So it's what, like 2-3-ish?
I was like 1-2, but 2.
I was thinking of
like
1
you
or
will play
2.
because it's Targon. Like on its own, it's a 1,
Mm-hmm.
but because it's in Targon, it's a 2, I guess.
I'm gonna stick by my guns. I hate this card. It gets a 1 for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Test Daybreak, I don't know. I give it an Omega optimistic 3. That might be way off. Okay, Ravoon.
Okay, a
Okay,
pretty
the
decent
chat says that the silent removes the shield and the damage should go through with the Bastion.
Does it though?
It doesn't seem. I feel like it would nullify the whole card, but we'll see when the card actually. What? So text in LOR is so confusing and interpretive, and until we actually see the interaction itself, we won't know how that works. But the way I think of it, and I think you guys agreed, was the spell shield would nullify the whole card, right?
Mm-hmm. I think that's how it works. I'm not sure. Okay, Ravoon. I gotta say the card by itself is solid.
Yeah, it's super solid.
Yeah, we've just seen 5 mana 5/5s. Like that's a solid stat line. It creates it replaces itself, and then the Daybreak card, or rather the permanent effect on the board, just makes Daybreak.
You can
better.
play it on curve.
So, yeah,
I think it's a solid 4 for me.
Like, solid 4.
yeah,
I agree.
Everything you want.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's like a very. It's a card that almost like didn't take a lot of design thought, but was very obvious and needed. So I like it. It's a solid 4.
It could be almost a 5 Dame.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a good.
This
4.
card is going to be played in Daybreak card, right? So,
where are we at right now? Ravoon?
Blessing of Targon.
Blessing of Targon.
Or
really? Okay.
No. Are we done with Ravoon? Well, that's the part
we're done with Ravoon. Sorry.
Okay. So Blessing of Targon.
Give me your opinion on Blessing.
So you never played in your deck, but you're happier that Tariq has it.
Yeah. So we've just seen permanent in this game is just not anywhere as much as they value, they being Riot. So we see Ranger's Resolve also coexists with a card like what's that really bad 1 mana card from base set? The one that gives it tough. No. What's the 1 mana card that gave a card toughness permanently? Right. So like things only matter in that instance a lot more than like residual or permanent value. Mm-hmm. So a card like Blessing of Targon, and I guess it does matter that we saw the nerf, that we saw a card, what's it called? Fury of the North get nerfed. So Fury of the North is still just better and cheaper than this card, but obviously we're talking about Targon.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hate it. It's okay.
I don't think the card itself is that good. It's more like if you have an OP value engine you want to buff, that makes the card good.
Right, like a champion that you want to keep alive, and then
like if
with Tariq maybe.
Yeah, if Tariq was OP, the card would be good. I don't think Tariq is that great. I'm not even sure if you want to main deck this in Tariq, to be honest.
Yeah, because you could just use the champ spell. Yeah, it's probably a 1. It's just very underwhelming.
This card would be way better, but without Tariq being good, this card is not good.
Yeah. So,
but like you are happy when you have a double Tariq.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
but still a 1. Like I said, you would almost never want to main deck this.
I agree on the 1.
Mountain Scryer.
I don't. Mountain Scryer.
Mountain Scryer is probably one of the better. And oh wait, it says Allegiance Invoke, right? I forgot.
Yeah,
it's Allegiance. You have to play mono Targon.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough.
I think it could be good as soon as we see more cards. If you can actually build a mono Targon deck. Right now, mono Targon is probably just a joke.
No,
Right.
I don't know if mono Targon is a joke.
I
Later
think
on, you can build a deck, but
Targon would be
we'll
too
see.
great. So let's think about like how you think of traditional allegiance decks with splash. What would be like the obvious splash to cover up the flaws of Targon? Because clearly it just came out.
Demacia. Like, you just
Demacia?
play Dragon Targon with single combats and removal, because Targon lacks removal and Demacia stuff really helps it. Or you could play PNZ and play the cat, the submersible. I made a deck with it.
Oh,
And
Oh,
like
why?
with Invoke and stuff, it's really good. But don't get into this. So how good on its own is this card? Like 4 mana, 2/3. Let's say you have Allegiance.
So Invoke is 1.5 mana.
Yeah, and this is the cost of every Celestial card. So I think this is really good.
Yeah, I guess like cheating mana is good.
Yeah, but okay, yeah. I'd say in the future it's gonna be good. Right now it's still not good because I don't think mono Targon can be good. Like, what deck would mono Targon be? What would you run?
Yeah, it's a good question.
I can show you later.
Okay.
Okay.
So I will give it a 4.
Yeah, I think I'm at a 4 also.
Okay, I'll give it I think I'll give it a 3 with potential. With like future potential.
So the way I'm envisioning it, and this might just not be accurate at all, is you just create a bunch of Celestial cards and then you play them cheaper, and then the cheap mana part makes up for the fact that they're just like slightly better than their
but
cost.
it's also you need to expend your turn 4 on a card that you don't want to trade or
Yeah.
block with.
Yeah, this is very true.
Okay, Solari Priestess.
Okay.
All of these are
Favorite
tough
Invoke.
because like how good is Invoke gonna be?
Right.
Yeah,
and
it's hard
then
to say. Like we have to play first.
and then specifically Celestial 4, 5, 6. So that
4, 5,
is
6
better,
are-
right? Because you get a more valuable card, not better necessarily.
Now the question
So-
is Priestess maybe good in Leona without any other Invoke cards?
I think you want to play it in like any Invoke and any Daybreak deck, because you can play it on turn 3 and 10, 4, 5, 6 minions are really good. Like the Traveler, you have a
true.
4 mana 3/4 that invokes, then have a 5 mana 5/5 Challenger, and this Golden Sister is also nuts. So all the minions
Yeah.
for 4, 5, and 6 are really broken.
Good
Wow,
point.
This Golden Sister card is really good.
Written in the Stars with Leona is also just good.
Yeah. Yep. And even the other spells like have some like could be a choice at some point. Like you could need it at some point. Like deal 4 to enemy and 1 to the another. You could kill 2 units, obliterate the enemy. That's also fine. So I really like the Solari Priest. Like the thing is, you need to be. You don't mind being behind on tempo when you play this. So kind of weird because the 3 mana 1/2 does nothing.
Yeah, because of the shitty stat line, and you maybe want to play this in faster decks, I'm only gonna give it a 3.
Yeah, I'll give it a 3 because I am very cautious because just its stat line is awful.
Yep, the stat line is so far. I would also give it a 3.
Yeah.
I just wanted, like, I thought you think this card is shit, so I wanted to show you that you can do cool stuff.
Yeah, good point. After I saw the Celestials, my opinion improved a bit. Okay,
Yeah,
I just want to
actually
note,
seen
like,
those
if it's fine, we need to kind of rush a bit through the rest. I need to leave pretty soon.
Okay.
Okay, Lunari Priestess.
It's fine. With 1 drop that creates a petal, it's fine. You can play it. Nightfall is overall a pretty bad mechanic. And Invoke. Oh, I don't know.
I'd say it's worse than Priestess because it's less choice as to curve, but the stat line's a bit better. 2/1's better than 1/2.
But it's still a 3-star for me. It's a fine card. You played in
I-
Celestial deck.
I think it's more like a 2, or
Yeah, I
I
give
think
it a
it's
2.
objectively worse than Solari Priestess.
Okay.
It's okay. Hush.
Hush is another one like Pixie. It's so hard to predict.
The Hush needs like a huge conversation though, because don't people very divided about this card? I don't really know how to
Yeah.
feel about it personally.
I think this card is trash, honestly.
It seems like it's going to be awful most of the time. However, it's unhealthy.
Yeah, it's unhealthy for
Yeah,
sure.
when I first saw it, I thought it would be mediocre. But this is one of those cards that you will only play if the meta needs it to be played. And if, as a tech choice, it's great.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, I'm
like,
inclined to give it a 1 though, because I just don't
fair.
think it's going to be good enough to
I
play
also
most of the time.
I give it for that reasoning, I give it a 3, I think, because it's like, if it gets played, there's reason for it to be played and it will be good.
Oh, Lobster, how much does Riot have you on salary for? Just too optimistic.
Dude, I wish.
Okay, Giddy is Sparkologist. Oh,
Wait, what
fuck,
does Szychu say for Hush?
I will give it a 1.
Okay.
I don't like this. I think it's toxic, but I don't like it. Like, it's bad. For now, at least.
Okay, so the Giddy, I actually think that's one of the better cards.
Yeah, it's really solid. It's really, really solid. If you are playing Celestials, you want to protect, like,
Yeah.
maybe even elusive. I don't know. Like,
Or
you
you
get a
can,
free elusive and you just protect it.
you can protect your Allegiance boy.
Yeah, or Allegiance Boy. That's also
Okay.
true.
I don't think he's a boy. He's a fucking man.
Yeah.
That's an old man at that.
Same.
Yeah, I think this card's like a solid 3.
Yep.
Just like a decent card.
Because it needs a setup also, so it's not like straight up.
Right, you can't
True.
to curve this card, like you can curve it, but you would probably have a suboptimal target and you would also need a specific curve. So,
Yeah. No, I think 3 is reasonable. Sounds good. Dragon's Clutch. 3 mana, draw 2 specific cards. Or optionality. Dragon allies +1/+1. On burst speed, by the way.
Yep. I think this card is great.
Card's good, isn't it?
If in the looks deck, it's like if you play Demacia with it, really.
Yeah.
What
This
are
one's
the
also
most-
the more dragons we get, the better this is gonna be. This is
Do you ever use that second effect? The second effect seems pretty bad.
Yeah, the second effect, like you can play it as a
Right, it just makes the card better by having choice.
It's just the optionality that if you already are ahead on value, that maybe you'd need to stabilize on board or something.
Yeah, this card seems like it has, especially like you said, as the card pool as dragons become more expanded upon.
Mm-hmm.
Number wise,
I'd say now it's a 4 and probably a future 5.
I'm thinking about 4.
Yeah, I like a 4. I think this card is going to like all these other archetypes will be very contingent on how good dragons are. However, it just, very easy, valuable card.
Agreed. Crescent Guardian?
A card that's not so valuable.
So it's basically a ballista, and ballista is pretty bad, so
Yeah, this would only work in very specific decks, and it's better with the 1-drop that gives you this. What's it called? I forgot the name.
the petal.
Yeah, exactly. That makes the card somewhat playable, but seems like it's not going to be good.
Yeah, I think it's a 2.
I would give it a 2.
Right, like it has a solid stat line, a 3 for a 3/3. That makes it like not the worst card ever, and then it has some upside.
Yeah, it's like Mighty Poro with an upside, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 1 or 2, I'd say. Szychu, what are you saying?
I will give it a 2 because it has potential. Like
True. Yeah, 2 seems
Right, there's a
fine.
curve in which this card is annoying.
If they play it on like turn 3, 5-3, and you don't have a way to deal with it, then you're really sad.
Okay. Mountain
A
Goat.
card with no upside. This is the worst card in the set.
Dude, the upside is the design. Did you look at that thing? It's such a
okay,
fucking
no, I take
troll.
that back. I think there's probably more expensive cards that are worse than this, but this card is atrocious.
Yeah, it's a optimistic one for me.
0.
0.
Yeah,
Not-
0 is
Not even
reasonable.
blinking an eye, 0.
You know what? This one's actually a 0 for sure. Like, when would you ever play this?
This card is atrocious.
I'm
The
just trying
upside
to.
is you strike and get a gem.
It just looks so cool.
You just like all the animal cards. I
Okay,
guess
let's go for
isn't-
Herald.
St. Peter has something to do with animals, right?
Yes.
Anyway,
Herald of Dragons.
um,
So it depends
Cheating
how
Man is good.
right?
Yeah, it could be
Yeah.
good, right? A combination with Dragon's Clutch as well.
I would try it definitely. But 2 mana 1/1 that
Yeah,
reduces
stat line
price. Like,
is-
how good is this?
you can't defend this card at all. I'm inclined to give it like a 2, just because it has a really great effect on a horrible body.
True.
Like, imagine not having a removal for it, and opponent just plays 3 dragons in a row ahead of a card.
Oh,
You-
absolutely. If your
you're
opponent
really
can't answer this card, they're going to get shit on. But there's a lot of answers to it.
Yeah, or if you can
Yeah,
somehow
but-
like deck buff it, but you don't want to use protection on this card.
Right, and it would just make it less.
But then again, they are forced to like deal with it, so they'll
Yeah.
go out of their way to kill
That
it.
is true. So, general rule of thumb is if the downside of a card is that your opponent trades a 1-for-1 on it, then it's not bad. But I think this card does have the chance to just get valued on like hard. So I don't see that upside. So I'm at a 2. It has a really strong effect.
I can go along with 2. Seems reasonable.
Yeah, okay, I agree. Let's go for 2. I was thinking about 3, but
I could get behind either. It's hard to predict. It's one of those.
it just depends how good dragons are.
Yeah. So Star Shepherd right now for me is a 0, and it might be okay once we see what Soraka does.
Yep.
Yep, 0.
Okay, easy one. Spacey Sketcher. Discard a card to invoke a celestial card that costs 3 or less.
Yeah, so you play this card in Aurelion Sol deck, and you discard Aurelion with it.
Okay, this card gets a 10 out of 10.
And the celestial cards 3 or less.
They're not good. Like,
They are
they're
not
not what
good.
you want in the early game, is what I'm trying to say.
The spells are
I don't know.
terrible.
Like, let's say you play this 1/1 on 1, then 2/2 that draws 1. It's fine, right?
Right. That's
Yeah, but
what I'm saying.
You
The
discard
units are
one.
good.
You discard one, and then you draw one. It's not that like it's then you basically
it's
just
not
play a
value.
1-mana 1/1 and a 2-mana 2/2, and that's not good.
Yeah. I guess that's
But they're
true.
celestial. Does that change your mind at all?
Like, not gonna lie, super minorly, but not enough.
Yeah, no, I think this card is pretty neg. Not feeling this card at all. I would give it a 1.
I'll give it a 2.
Yeah, I'm somewhere between 1 and 2. I think I have to be the optimist today. I give it a 2.
I need somebody to foil. That's why when I'm the one who gives the card the better rating, it feels wrong.
Okay, Messenger Sigil. Remember that Messenger is the 2-mana 2/2 draw 1 card.
Let me just look at it.
There is some meme potential in it,
Okay.
but it's nowhere near like,
This card's
competitive deck,
terrible,
right?
right? This is awful. 1 mana do nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm inclined to give this card a 0.
I mean, yeah, it's probably not good.
This is like counterfeit copies tier, except
Yeah, Except,
But
yeah, I don't know. Counterfeit copies needs a card you're actually happy about copying. I think in the Celestial deck, you're kind of glad to run a 2-mana 2/2 that cycles and gives you the Celestial bonus.
I'm very content with the 0.
Yeah.
I'll give it a 1. There is some, I don't know, maybe I'm missing something that you can do with this, but I don't know.
It's somewhere at 1 or 0. I'm gonna give it a 0 for now, I think. Then again, this is also good with the 7-mana, like buff your whole deck 2+2/+2. It's all of a sudden a good card.
Yeah, I'm okay with not.
Yeah, no, probably a 0 to be honest.
It might be a 0.
It's already a 1 in your book. Okay, chat seems to disagree about Spacey Sketcher. Like a lot of people are saying it would actually be a good card. I just don't really see it.
Yeah, so the upside would have to be you have cards to discard, right? And then
I mean,
it's
you always have Ace-All in your hand, so you discard Ace-All.
okay, so we got but
Like-
still, like I would discard that card for a better card.
What do you want to...
I mean,
if you discard a gem, all of a sudden it's good for sure. But
Right, but then you have to generate the gem, obviously.
exactly. Also activated for Nightfall, but then you have to play Nightfall cards.
Yeah.
Wait,
I
is
just don't
Sketcher
care
ever
to
good in
discard
a
it.
tempo deck? I don't think so.
No, because the tempo is bad if you're just getting a 1/1 and a 2/2.
I mean, if you get like 0 mana to 1 Serpent, you can tempo out people. If you get a 3/3 evasion guy, then it's fine. But the spells are trash.
Yeah,
Like
so
1 mana, 2 mana. Like they're optional, but they're
right.
bad
So
to
half
use.
of them are awful. So you're looked at the units.
Globsec 3/3 elusive? That's probably the best way to use it. Or I could see like Crash and Strike, Stunt. That's not even a good tempo card, come on.
No, Chris, I'm definitely with Szychu. The spells, you just never want to see these. So it's down to the units.
Like the minions are fine, but
Yeah, exactly. The units are fine. The spells are rarely...
I
I
gave
guess
it a 2 times the 1-drop. Like you will play it in Celestial ISO because
Right, you just have so many. You have such a limited card pool, so maybe it's play.
It does have flexibility because this, like the minions are good for okay for early, and the spells can be good for later on. Like Silence a Follower or Leviathan, Crescent Strike to shut down an attack, where opponent develops.
They're highly situational.
Yeah, with the situation, but still, like,
and for a situation you can't even anticipate.
I'm not even gonna lie, this card is probably gonna be played in heavy Invoke decks, but since heavy Invoke decks are probably gonna be bad, I don't think it's that good of a card.
Yeah, if I'm wrong about Spacey Sketcher, I'll be happy.
Yeah, I'm fine with being wrong about the card.
There's cards that I'm cautious will be good and I gave a bad rating, but this is not one of them.
Okay, let's go for the next one.
Alright, so Star Shaping, invoke a Celestial card that costs 7 or more, then heal an ally or your Nexus 5.
So it's unplayable, right?
Yeah. Yep, I think this card's atrocious.
Yeah, let's put a 0. Like you are behind on mana so much.
I want this to work, I give this a 1. I really want this to work. I don't think it's good though. No, wait, the Celestials don't even... Do they flip the board ever? Like 7?
So 7, the Destroyer,
Cosmic Rays. Yeah, no.
No, nope.
I instead, I want this to work. I'll leave the 1. Okay, this is an interesting one. Resplendent Stellacorn.
What is going on with it, by the way? Why does it have like a massive bulging chest and then like these little stick hooves?
Because it's alpha. Who cares?
Anyway, I think this
steroid.
card's pretty mediocre.
Yeah, it seems like arena card most of the time.
Yeah,
Right.
It could be good with dragons because they have fury, they wanna trade,
True.
and then you can heal them up. So with dragons, it could be better. But right now, I don't feel like you would ever play it.
Yeah, Dragon and like Fury Cuts and also the Broadback Protector dude. But when I first saw this, I thought, okay, it's almost the Kindly Tavern Keeper, just a bit more expensive. But then again, like a turn 3/3/3 has a very different effect on the game than a turn 5/4/5.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
I think this card's a 1. It's not
okay.
gonna see.
I'm willing to give it like a 2.
I would give it 2.
Like
it's not that
good
bad on its own.
Yeah.
No, it's not atrocious. Like you said, it's an arena card. Like it's like an okay value card with a slightly understated body.
Yeah, the question is how often would you actually main deck this? I think when Soraka comes out, maybe this card's gonna be good.
Yep.
Okay, another slow spell.
More
Give allies +2/+2 this round. Daybreak, activate all Daybreak effects at once. Okay, so what does that mean exactly? Just all the Daybreaks that are on the board right now, you trigger them again?
Yep. I think that's how it works. And also, then Leona stuns everything if she's flipped.
Yeah,
So,
Morning Light's actually good.
So it takes a lot of setup. What were you thinking about?
So you don't have that many Daybreak units.
Yeah.
Right.
The one drop, there is
it
a 2 drop,
activates.
there is a 3 drop that you don't even play.
It activates all ally effects at once, so Leona only stuns twice when you play this. It's Daybreak, and then all the Daybreak effects activate at once. But still
stunning 2 is good enough.
I'm willing to give this a 4, but only in Leona decks, Leona Daybreak decks.
Yeah, it's obviously only going to Leona decks. It's a... do I even play the Leona decks right now? I feel like there's...
I think it's so much worse.
It's like a 2.
Yeah, I'm on a 2. I think this card is like fringe play.
Okay.
Maybe as a 1.
Could be a bait. Maybe we need to see more Daybreak cards for this to be good.
I don't believe it.
Chat is heavily disagreeing on Star Shaping. On this 5 mana Invocus Leche card that costs 7 or more, then heal an ally or your Nexus 5.
5 mana, heal 5, and do nothing for the turn. I think that's pretty solid bad card.
Yeah, I think the reasoning is that most metas won't allow this card to be played. In a greedy meta, this is really good.
Right, this card is fine if your opponent was doing nothing, but that's... At Loire, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, if you play a Soul deck, you're almost always going to be the slower deck. Your opponent is going to try to smork you down. And then, like, 5 mana for 5 healing, and, like, the card you draw is probably not even going to flip the board completely, is not good.
So would you play 12 mana across 2 turns to play Destroyer that heals you 5?
Yeah, no, only if you're stable. Then you can play the Destroyer, but...
Yeah.
Right, but... the type of deck that Soul is going to lose to all the time, getting another value card is not going to help it.
Yeah, this card... I see a tiny bit of potential, but it's just too expensive, I think. Okay, let's go on. Moondreamer?
So, if we're going off the premise that you get the cheaper ones more often, although... They don't actually have a way to know what that means, I'm inclined to say this card's probably overcosted.
Yeah, I don't think it's that good.
5 mana 3/5 does nothing on the board. Most of the time.
It comes down too late to be impactful.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm inclined to give it like a 1 just because its stat line is atrocious for its cost.
Yeah, 1 seems reasonable. Fused Firebrand. Spell Shield Fury.
I'm actually curious, what do you think about this?
I think it's a lot worse than the Demacia one was Challenger.
Yeah.
I think this one's average. It's not horrible, but it's also not that great.
Right, it has a competitive stat line, and then it has keywords. I don't know how to evaluate how good these keywords are yet, but they exist, so they're obviously better than nothing.
Yeah.
But I'm inclined to give this card like a 2.
Yeah, I feel like this card doesn't really need Spell Shield. This is not gonna be like a priority removal target. But Dragon can synergize with some stuff, and Fury is just a nice addition to have. So
I'm close to giving this a 3. Like,
yeah, I'm on 2 or 3.
like against like PNZ deck, like what do they do against it? Like they cannot beam it, they cannot do stuff.
Yeah, kind of true. But then it's also just a 5/5. It's not like
Yeah,
ridiculous.
it's just a 5/5.
You're right. It's not a world breaker. You can just
Block
put a
it,
body
then,
in front of it.
It
Right.
draws. I know. I will give it a
Yeah.
3. I really think it's a solid card.
I think
Especially,
it'll be. Oh no, go ahead.
I think especially with the like if the 2-mana 1/1 grill, which like the Herald of the Dragons is good, then this card is really good.
True. Yeah, I'm down with a 3.
I think you'll be much more happy if you get it off the. How do you say the Inviolus Vox? If you get it off of that, you'll probably be more happy than actually dedicating a deck spot to it.
Okay,
That's
white flame protector. So it's
Another dragon.
4 mana 4 for Fury. Now the interesting thing that 4 mana 4 for the stat line actually trades well often if you play it on curve.
Yeah, there are not that many. Like, I was looking through the 4-cost cards in Runeterra, and there is not that many good ones. And it's almost a premium one. The 4 mana 4/4 with Fury. Like it trades into something, and then it's like 5/2, 5/3.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's surprisingly okay. But it's
Yeah, I
also
like
not
this
game
one from the
breaking.
Fused Firebrand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely not game break.
I'm somewhere on like 2 or 3. Probably a 3 because of the dragon tag. It's like dragons probably will need a bit more like earlier game. This is probably a good tool to stabilize against Smorg.
Yeah,
What
I'm
do
at a 3. I think it's better than the Fused Firebrand. But still just another card you'll be like, oh boy, I generated like a relatively cheap card to play. More than actually just like, oh, I played White Flame Protector.
Mm-hmm. Szychu, what do you think?
So it's a 3, I think.
Okay. Reasonable. Zenith Blade is another interesting one. 3 mana slow, but Overwhelm tag can be good. Also Daybreak. +1/+2. But
It's borderline unplayable, but you can do cool
Yeah.
stuff with it because you can put it on Swain. Like the Swain is, I think, the best example because it gives him the trample, the overwhelm and the additional health.
Yeah. And also the card cycles itself. It can find value.
Yeah, but it's so expensive and slow.
Yes.
Yeah, but also when do you
Slow
ever play...
boss.
When do you play Swain with Targon?
Never.
What? Swain Leona is a real deck. It will be really good.
Oh, that could be a thing.
I built it.
Leona
I think
again?
it will be fine, honestly. But this, like, I would try the Zenith Blade, but I think it's trash.
I think that if you took away the bilge from, what's his name? I can't think of his name because I never play him. Swain. The curve would just be so much worse. But anyway, I think this card is really bad.
Yeah, but I will give it a 1.
Yeah, it's not the worst card ever. It's a 1.
Yeah.
Is it the worst card ever? It's pretty awful.
I'm inclined to even give it a 2. Maybe
Yeah,
we'll
it gives
see some...
Overwhelm's really we've seen Overwhelm just be really valuable throughout LOR, so maybe there's just something there.
Yeah, like Swain and Vi are the main champions that you can put it on.
Okay, Fledgling Stellacorn, do we all agree on
0?
obvious 0?
Okay.
Okay.
I'm happy that we don't have to talk about it.
I mean, card's cute, but that doesn't help it.
What is it?
It's a
How
mini
is this
unicorn.
cute? Is it? Let me look at it. Okay, I can see it.
And it can fly. Like, in real life, this would be pretty busted. Think about it. Okay, Bastion is probably another one where people are somewhat
So
divided.
I was definitely one of the people who was really upset when I saw this card, and I didn't understand what Spell Shield did. That was the key part. And now that I know what Spell Shield does, this card is probably not good, but it'll be annoying.
Good. At burst
It's a
speed,
type of card.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's a type of card that I don't want to see in the game. It punishes removal. And removal's bad in the game. So you're just making bad cards even worse. So like a card like Vengeance is a card I really like, but it sees only fringe play because of how expensive it is, that there's not enough targets all the time. And then Bastion just makes that card worse, and it makes me upset.
I agree with you, like 100%. Like all you said was true, and yeah, it's really sad because the spells are overcost in this game, obviously because of the spell mana and how it works, and we don't even see the free mana Demacia spell, which gives barrier, which is better than Bastion.
Yeah.
And Bastion is worse than that, so.
Yeah, I think like it's kind of similar to Hush though. I think if people like if you do include this in the deck, there's a reason for it, and then this card is really good. Like to protect an Ezreal.
Yep.
To
I can
protect
agree.
a certain OP value engine. And then it's like as a 2-off, maybe it's all of a sudden really good. For a similar reason that Deny is really good. In Karma Ezreal, for example.
It's just so much better though.
Yeah. It's partially yes and partially no, because this one's burst speed.
Yes, but Deny has the upside of keeping very expensive slow and fast spells at bay. So like you have to think about Thermo, which this card also does, but just like any wide array of card that doesn't touch units even, I think Deny is much better.
Okay, I think we'll be pretty split on this, because I for sure give this card a decent rating. Like I give this a 3 or a 4.
I can give it a 3, but
I think it's like a 1. It's going to be more annoying than good.
Yeah, no, give it an honest rating though, Szychu. Don't get influenced by me.
no, like I think like you will play it in Targon decks. Like the thing is,
You will?
is there anything that you won't protect though?
Right.
I mono Targon, no, but if you play it in, like, I don't know what will be the deck, so it's hard to say. If you play it in with Leona, then maybe you want to protect like Leviathan or Swain.
Yeah, right now I only see like Ezreal, maybe Karma, if that's ever a thing. But even for the future, like this card can just be super good. If they do, like, if the question is more so not like how good is this card, but how good are the value engines in this game.
Okay, maybe I will change to 2 actually, because right now I don't see me playing this card, honestly.
Okay, Szychu puts a 2 on.
So your rating on this card is definitely an indictment on Spell Shield as a whole. And then it's also, what is Targon doing? Targon reminds me a lot of Demacia, so it's going to be a lot of units and curves. And then where does Bastion fit in? There's not like that big singular card that needs to be... There's no like Ezreal, Heimerdinger type of card that needs to be protected, so...
Yeah, but it's also... Keep in mind you don't need to have Ionia to have like a Deny. Although it's a slightly worse Deny, it's just a bit different, right? If there's ever something you really need to protect, Bastion's actually good. Also in tournaments, it's going to be such an annoying card as a 1 or 2 of.
It's going to be really cancerous in tournaments.
You know what? I'm going to go on a leash and give it a 4. Okay, Tiari the Traveler.
Trash.
Yeah, bad.
The card looks kind of mediocre. I mean, it's a 2 mana 2/4, I guess.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yes, in the best case, right?
Well, best case, it's like
the best case would be it lives by some gift of God. Your opponent disconnected and didn't block or something.
Like, do you even play it in Tariq deck? I guess you have.
I think you have to.
Maybe you just need support cards.
I know. I will give it a 1. Like,
I will give
if
it
your
a
opponent
2.
doesn't have a 1 and a 2, they're gonna feel really upset if you have the
like
attack.
you will play it and feel bad about this.
Yeah, this card is a 1. I don't like this card.
I give it an optimistic.
It's a grand, but still.
Start with Stomper.
What the fuck?
Yes.
What is this card?
It's 5 out of 5.
Dude, where do you ever play this?
I don't know.
Nowhere.
I mean, you don't.
I wish there was a dust system in this game because there's so many cards I just never want to look at, and this is one of them. I don't want to see this card.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I would love to give this 1, but I think it has to be a 0.
Yeah.
Like, it has a competitive stat line and it has a keyword that's really strong, but
Not on a
it's not
2-attack unit.
conducive. Right, it's not conducive to the card at all. Are you really going to play Startled Stomper and buff it?
With Starlitz.
Something like that. Alright, Solari Shieldbreaker. People seem to be excited about this
Wait,
card.
are we all on 0 on Startled Stomper?
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay.
Get that shit out of here.
Yeah, people are saying support target, but no, just...
Yeah, that's
No.
what to say, but...
Okay,
you don't
Shieldbreaker...
wanna-
And like, okay, my opinion on this is it's not a great card by itself, but it will definitely see play just because Leona and the lack of Daybreak cards.
Absolutely.
Yep. It's just a fine.
So
Just a fine.
yeah, I give the card itself a 3. It's like okay, and it combos well.
It's a bad Bright Steel Protector, but Daybreak, like you said, just needs triggers.
Yeah, but also Bright Steel Protector is really good.
Yeah, well, that's true. So, yeah, 3 seems justifiable.
Yeah, I agree on 3.
Okay, Pale Cascade.
Also a solid 3-star, I think, because it's just a solid card overall. You might
Maybe
have
another +2 for
problems
one.
with Nightfall, but if you're playing like a tempo deck and you usually play stuff before attacking, then you will have the mana to play it and you will draw a card. So
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm tempted to give this a 5. I think the card's busted.
Ooh,
busted.
Dude,
really?
it's literally a... I mean,
If it
the
was
combat
1-2,
trick
then I
is a
would
bit
give it
the combat
5.
trick is a bit understated for the mana cost, but any card that cycles itself is just good. This is burst speed, like this is burst speed pocket aces. Okay, not permanent, but when is pocket aces ever permanent?
Okay, I can give it
Bad.
a 4, but not 5.
I was thinking more like it. This card could be clunky, right?
No,
Like,
because like I said, if you play a tempo deck, you
Yeah,
just play
okay.
stuff
Then
and you
if you're
always
playing
have
a
this
tempo
mana.
deck. So in a tempo deck, you would just have to not have like a curve, then, right?
But
I don't-
usually you don't play it on like 10, 2, 3. More like
Okay.
10, 5. 10, 4, 5.
I'm in between a 2 and a 3. I'll be optimistic and say a 3.
And it's also
I
with Diana better.
Yeah.
I really don't like Nightfall.
So Szychu, where are you at?
At 4. Let's do it at 4.
Yeah. Okay.
I like
I'm-
the draw. Like when I see draw, I'm
Exactly. And also draw in a tempo deck is like something it always lacks, and it's happy to have. So I'm gonna go out on a leash. Like this is obviously a bold prediction, but I'll give it a 5 because I think if it gets played, it's actually super duper solid. Okay, Lunari Shadestalker.
that's elusive. I
Yeah.
hate it.
Yeah. It has elusive and it also just has clunky requirements, so I don't like it.
Yeah, but the stats are good for an elusive, and Nightfall can be easy to get with the 1 mana card.
But is this worth it to do that?
I don't know, it's hard to evaluate this one.
Yeah. If Nightfall is like, if this card is just a 2 mana 2/3 with elusive, then that's much better,
Yeah,
but it's not.
I will give it a 3 just because the card on itself looks good. I just don't know which deck to put it in.
If you play a Ionia elusive with this, and on turn 3 you play the 1 mana 2/1, the Blade Scout, and this puts some damage. I don't know.
Maybe.
And also, like in Ionia, when you have Navori Scout, you bounce back the cards so you can play them again. So on turn 3 you could possibly play it. Like let's say turn 1 Blade Scout into turn 2 the bounce back, and on turn 3 play this again and another Blade Scout. I don't know.
fair.
It has potential, honestly. I would give it a 3. Solid 3.
It has elusive, so I'll give it a 1. I don't like this card. I think it's bad.
Maybe. Guiding Touch is another interesting one. It says draw.
Yeah,
It has
I
lots of
want to give it a
optionality.
5.
What?
But I'm not sure. I'm almost giving it a 5. I really like this one.
Wait, you give this a 5 but not Pale Cascade?
But it's
it
more like
doesn't have
4, I guess.
requirements. I like Guiding Touch much more than Pale Cascade.
Like you can do it anytime. Like Pale Cascade, you
Yeah, I
only do
think
it
having the requirement
in
for
combat, and you
Nightfall-
have to play a card first.
Yeah.
And with this, you don't have to do anything, and
But-
it fits into Dragon stuff. I guess.
What I dislike about this is you can't use it as a mid-combat trick unless your unit is damaged.
Yeah, that's true.
Also,
That's
I think
true.
the card's gonna be sick. It's gonna be like an auto-include once Soraka's out, and like we get more healing synergy cards. I think right now it's just like there's not enough synergy for this card to be good.
I agree. That's what is really on my mind is what deck plays this card. If this was an Ionia card, this card would be great. So, what does Lux Targon look like right now?
Okay,
Like
let's rate this card and go over
Yeah,
it.
I give it a
Okay.
3, but I could see this become a 5 in the future.
I would rate this 4 also. I like it.
I'll
Just
give it a 4. I like it. I like this. I like the effect. I don't know if Targon will use it the best, but I like the effect.
Okay,
Last
what do we
5
have next?
cards.
Behold the Infinite 2-mana burst invoke. Honestly, is this
Seems
card just bad?
Yep.
Yep.
It has to be right.
It seems very bad to me.
I give it a 1 just because maybe... Oh, do I even give it a 1?
I might give it a 1 because of the like the 4-drop. You get a
Yeah.
discount.
Maybe the synergy is good.
And maybe the synergy
I'm
is
never
good
putting
enough.
this card in a deck.
I mean, it's like an on-treat-ish. And in some very, very rare cases, you might want to play on-treat, right? So, yeah, it's like 0 or 1, but it's surely not
I'll
good.
give it a 1. It might be a field card when you need to go full Targon deck.
Something like that, yeah. But
Is there
still,
like a... Yeah, I don't see it.
this makes you pay 2 for... Like, this makes you up price your Celestials by 2, so... Some of the units somehow only manage to do it at 1.5 or 1 mana cost. Yeah, I'll give it a 1 though. It's for flexibility and stuff. What do you think, Matt?
0. The donut.
That's reasonable.
I just don't see a deck where you would add this in. Like this, if you just generated this card, obviously it's not terrible, but not seeing it. Solari Soldier, card that is good though.
Yes, Larry Soldier
How
is
good
solid.
How good is it though?
If it was not in Targon, it'd be really good.
Exactly. Like in Targon, there's outside of Leona, there's not much use, but in Leona, it's going to be really strong, and in and by
Oh,
itself, the card is strong.
Yeah,
So-
I think this card's a 4.
Is there any 1-drop that you would give a 3-star or 4-star? Like
Yeah,
in the
this
game?
one.
This one, I would give a
Oh.
4-star.
1-drops? I think there's a ton of great 1-drops.
Like Fleet Feather
One
Tracker
drop.
gets a 4 or 5, and
Okay,
Jagged
okay.
Butcher.
Hawk. 1-drops are broken in this game.
But
So is it better than like let's say Fleet Tracker?
it's about
If this card was in Demacia, they would be very comparable.
yeah.
But it's not, so it's
I think
very
they're
hard to-
similar power levels, sort of.
Worst patcher, right?
Yeah, but that card's really good.
Yeah, I guess. Like you will play this card anyway in the Daybreak deck.
I
So,
mean,
yes.
What do you think, Szychu?
Yeah.
So what did you rate? I will give it like a 2 or 3, maybe a 3.
Ooh,
I give it
gave
a 4. I think it's an okay
Yeah.
1-drop.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's put it on 3.
Fair. Okay,
Alright.
Porofly, I give it a 100. There's not even a question about it.
This card is
It's a 5. Like imagine with Poroflaft. like Shaft of Poro.
This card makes me want to break the monitor
Giant.
in front of me. I hate looking at this card. It's this. So I already dislike Poros, and this is the most annoying looking one.
All right, Lunari Duskbringer. This
It's
is
a great Nightfall enabler. Like, I think
Duskbringer. It makes Nightfall not complete garbage.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the only thing that makes that smooth at all.
It's like
So-
if Nightfall looked better, I would for sure give this a 5.
Yeah, I'm inclined to give it a 4 though. I
Yeah.
think this card, if you're playing, if it so clearly Nightfall is incredibly clunky just by, the way that it's working out, and this card actually gives it some way to not be clunky, and it has a 1/2/1 body, pretty competitive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
It's just
This is the only card that saves Nightfall, honestly.
Yeah.
If this card would
absolutely.
not exist, the Nightfall would be complete garbage. And because of this card, it might be playable at like tier 2 deck, maybe. So it's like between 4 and 5, honestly.
Yeah,
It's unfortunate that this card makes it so Shadow Isles has to play this, right? Like Shadow Isles Targon's the only way to play that deck.
Mm-hmm. So I think because Nightfall, especially in Targon, Nightfall is not good. I'll still give it a 4.
I
But-
agree on 4.
It has sick potential.
Like one drop that gives you something to hand is like,
Yeah.
great.
And it's not fleeting. It's not, nothing happens to it. It's a pretty solid card.
And is Gift Giver the last one? Seems so, right?
Yep.
0?
Terrible. Yes,
Zero.
sir.
Okay. I think we made it through all the cards.
Damn, it took way longer than I thought.
Way longer, dude. Holy moly.
I told you it was going to take a while.
All right.
The brains are going, the juices are flowing. You got to talk about these things. Plus, there's just a lot of cards. And so many new mechanics, too, so things you just have to, it takes time to evaluate.
Also, I think I misjudged some cards. Like
Oh,
after
absolutely.
I've seen all of them, I can see some of them are overrated from me and some are underrated. But,
Yeah.
like our point system was not great. The 5-point system is not great.
No, not at all.
It's great.
It's horrible.
It's horrible.
You just choose a number and that's it. What could go wrong?
But I think I speak for all of us if I say, like, especially to chat right now, to the viewers, take all of this with a grain of salt. These are all probably somewhat biased opinions, and most importantly, it's impossible to predict the meta accurately. And a lot of these ratings are dependent on how the meta will shape. Like, certain cards are good in certain metas and bad in other metas. And therefore, these predictions are super hard to make. But I think we kind of got a general idea going of which cards are playable, which cards are good, which cards are bad, which cards are situational.
Yeah, I think this set is a lot more clear than set 2 in terms of power level. Set 2 just seemed like it had a lot of potential in all the different synergies. This seems a little more straightforward to me. Celestial, though, that's where this gets murky because of how you adjust the values of those.
All right. Lads.
I know you guys are pressed for time, right?
Yeah, I am at least. I just want to say big thank you and shout out to both of you, Szychu and Matt from MetaWorldGaming. Thanks for doing this with me.
All right, yeah, I had a lot of fun. I always have a lot of fun doing these types of things.
Yeah,
It was first time for me for being in the call and like trying to evaluate cards. But it was fun. Way too long. Like for the next time, we would need to make it more structurized.
Yeah, for sure.
There's always two things.
But also the next times, it's only going to be half as many cards, less even.
That's true. I guess the last thing was any deck you guys thought of off the top of your head. Maybe it's like a deck.
I mean, I built them, so I can show you them.
Send them in our Discord chat. I'm curious.
Okay.
Okay, I have my one deck I made.
Like, they are obviously not. Oh fuck! I sent it in the in my Twitch chat. So this is the first one. Don't look at Zenith Blade. It will be changed. I just put it.
It's a placeholder.
Like I don't know what to put, so I put the Zenith Blade. But overall, like something like this could be a fine deck. Honestly,
that's a lot of value. Yeah. Yeah, I like it. It has a solid curve in it.
Oh, the toxic one of Hush, I love it.
Like, okay, so Hash and the Zenith Blade are the cards that I would, and Sunburst are 5 cards that might be changed. But overall, all the other cards seem super solid to me. Like
Yeah, it
the
looks
build.
solid. True.
And the Culling Strike, I think, will be super strong at the start of the expansion because a lot of people will play support and stuff like that. So yeah.
Wait, but Leona's hero spell gives all units +2/+2, right? Not only Daybreak units.
Yeah, all minions, yes.
Yeah, I could see House Spider be good in this.
Yeah.
House Spider's just a
And
good
like
card.
1 off or 2 off Leona hero spell.
No. Don't ever play hero. Just cut this Zenith Blade and play House Spiders. I can see that.
Okay, fair. So anyone have a toxic elusive stack here?
Yes, that's the one I made.
Okay, this is... Ooh.
The only time I will ever even encourage Silent Shadows here in any capacity.
This is a pretty hot take, but I like it.
Oh, this is Encroaching Shadow. Yeah.
Encroaching Shadows makes Shadow Assassin good again. That's crazy.
Yeah, it cycles.
Okay, Glimpse is interesting, but no, Glimpse doesn't make sense because your Ephemeral dies after Strike.
I put Glimpse in there just so you could like accumulate cards in hand, and then just like Glimpse is a good card because clearly you're going to be aggressive. Maybe you have 2 banked mana, they try to remove your guy, you plus off of it.
Yeah, it's also a lot of off-allegiance cards. I'm not sure on Glimpse, the rest looks solid.
No, the Empyrean
I meant to take out Stalking Shadows, I think.
Empyrean is debatable, I think.
Debatable?
I like this card's the bomb. What are you talking about? This card's broken.
Like, like if you play the Encroaching Shadows, it doesn't matter that your base minion is a 6/5. You just need any elusive at that point.
No, absolutely. The whole point was to make cheap elusives, and clearly Empyrean's not very cheap.
I would just cut the Glimpses and the Empyrean and add like maybe like Third Palm.
Is also a Sparring Student the way to go? I guess just to have enough 1-drops, it's okay.
So I was talking to, because I made this deck just like last night randomly because I thought that there would be something there and it could be toxic and fun. And he wanted to play, what's that stupid ephemeral 4/3? Shadow Fiend.
Shadow Fiend.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, because so now that I look at this,
pulling that off Kinko Wayfinder is actually decent. Having it in your hand is garbage.
Have a house. Well, yeah. But I think there's something here in like, especially in a limited format. I don't think this is going to be like a world beater on ladder, but in tournament format, and you have so few options, elusives are better, and then just play into that strength better.
Yeah, that might be fine.
Chat's telling me that now Mobilytics deck builder also works.
Yeah, so this happened last time too, just the day before the set. Mobilytics had every card on the website.
Yeah, but we did I did this deck before.
Yeah, this is the site that everybody was using before.
Szychu, why does that deck only run 1 Poro Cannon?
I don't know.
Obvious misplay.
Just put it randomly.
This deck is terrible. What the fuck?
No, this is great. What do you mean? It's a great deck. You just play stuff.
1 second.
And win. You play a lot of Celestials. You have
no
Scryer, and then you play Soup Pursuable. I never know how to say it, but
Omega
it's a great card.
That's a hot take.
Celestials, you have a lot of random cards that you play like with different names. So this is something that could be played. I'm not saying it's great.
Yeah. Alright, I have to bounce in a minute. Just leave like as final words. I think decks that have definite potential along with the new cards are Leona tempo decks, maybe with Yasuo even, maybe with Swain, maybe like, I don't know, some sort of Bilge fast deck, Demacia fast deck, I don't really know. Another good option is probably gonna be... Wait, what else did we say?
Mizrats will be
Mizrates is probably gonna be good. And like there's gonna be some sort of degenerate SI aggro decks for sure. It could maybe be a Nocturne Nightfall aggro deck, but I don't see it yet. But maybe.
I'm gonna take a stance here and say that I think Scouts is gonna be really good day one. I think Endur's gonna be really good day one.
For sure. The old decks are still gonna be good for sure. I don't think the power level of this expansion is super duper high yet.
No, absolutely not. And I think it's by design, right? Like, I think that they had a reflective period, and that's why it took a little time for this to come out. It was delayed a little bit, and sets one, especially Foundation set, is stupid broken. Like, the cards in that set are astronomically better than any card that was released after. And then set 2 also had a lot of strong cards, and now we see set 3 is just very different in terms of power level.
Yeah. Right, I forgot about Lulu. Lulu Demacia is definitely going to be played a lot. It's either going to be like meh or it's going to be really good.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people will try Trundle decks. Either ramp, either some sort of War Mother ramp deck or like a mid-range Trundle deck.
Yeah. But there is nothing exciting about Trundle.
Yeah.
Trundle's pretty uninteresting.
Yeah. It's not the most interesting card, but it could just be solid. It has like an okay stat line, it has regen.
I mean, I would definitely play it. I would play all the Ace-All decks and the Trundle
for
decks.
sure. I can't wait to play a lot of hot garbage for the memes.
Yeah.
I might even try a submersible deck.
Sorry, I don't know, like maybe the deck itself that I built is not that great, but the idea behind it, I think it has some legs.
Could be okay.
Let me just look at it one more time. So what's the ideal curve with this deck? Why is it really install this? Is he just to be discarded? Just because I hate Aurelion, everybody should hate Aurelion Soul.
All right, lads. I'll call it a day here, though. Again, big shout out to both of you guys. Thanks for doing this with me. It was long, but it was definitely fun, and it was super duper interesting.
Yeah, it was super long and super fun. I'm exhausted now.
Yeah, it's good to talk about the game again.